A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
There she is. That's Molly Goldberg, folks. A woman with a place in every heart and a finger in every pie. And now the makers of New Does, that new kind of soap for everything right down your wash line, bring you another visit with those good folks, the Goldbergs. Goes our curtain on a stirring wash day melodrama, full of villains with dark, dirty looks, and a lovely lady in distress. The name of our play is The Wash Day Dilemma, or The Curse of an Aching Back. Now let's introduce the characters. First, Dirty Workshirt, a very tough customer.
Sure, I'm tough. Just try to make me come clean.
Second, Streaky Towel, the cause of lots of wash day trouble.
You bet. It's no cinch to get me white.
And a third wash day problem, Miss Rayon Slip.
I'm warning you. Handle me carefully.
Now, the lovely lady who's faced with these three kinds of wash. She might be you.
Oh, dear, what'll I do? If I use that strong old soap for the work shirts, it's too hard on those nicer colored washables.
Now, right there, in dashes our hero to the rescue. Yes, madam, here's New Does, that amazing new kind of granulated soap that does everything. All three kinds of wash. Does gets dirty work shirts clean, streaky towels white, yet it's really safe for pretty rayon undies. In fact, Does is far safer for those fussy colors than any other leading granulated wash day soap.
Say, this Does sounds wonderful. Did you say it gets towels white, too?
You bet. You've never seen whiter washes than New Does gives you. Actually, Does gets clothes whiter, far whiter than any number of other soaps.
But won't it take lots of scrubbing?
No, ma'am. No soap made gets clothes white easier than New Does. There's no hard scrubbing and no boiling.
Imagine this one soap doing so much.
Yes, it's amazing. Just try it. You'll see Does is not just a new improvement of an old soap, but a really new kind of granulated soap. It's Procter & Gamble's new soap discovery. Ask for Does, D-U-Z, today in that big red and white box. It does everything in your wash. And now the Goldbergs. The whole family, father, mother, brother, and Rosie, heard Walter speak to his mother on the telephone. They heard him say what well might be delightful news and what very well may become ominous and foreboding. Walter said he was breaking off his engagement to Norma. He said he loved Rosie. For Rosie, of course, it was a great triumph and feeling, but just what it meant for Walter, Molly isn't sure. There is a certain element in his nature, a revolt against his family, which Molly feels may be more important to him than his love for Rosie. A feeling of rebellion that may very well be what he thinks is love. Anyway, he said what he said, and now he looks at all of them.
Well, you were all here. Mr. Goldberg, Mrs. Goldberg, Rosie. You heard what I said to my mother. Now she knows. And there should be no doubt in your minds either. I love Rosie, and if there's anything you want to say to me, why...
I would like to talk to you, Walter, yes.
Papa, darling. Rosalind, Papa wants to talk to Walter. Come inside. Sammy, please. Excuse me.
Sit down, Walter. I hope you realize to the utmost what the words you spoke mean to my daughter and to us. Each word spoken, Walter, carries with it a tremendous responsibility.
I know that.
I hope so. But, Walter, my fullest and complete approval I must withhold from you.
Why?
Because to me you are a total stranger.
It won't take very long to...
Perhaps not. But at the moment, I only know a certain thing about you. If you are not a spoiled young man, I'll be very much surprised.
Mr. Goldberg, why...
It's not your fault. Being born with a golden spoon is not what it seems. It takes a big person a lot of living to overcome its disadvantages.
Mr. Goldberg, I'm here tonight because I've made up my mind that my parents can't buy me off with that golden spoon. There are certain things that I want to do, certain things that I believe in and think. And someone I like very much, your daughter. All these mean much more to me than all the advantages my parents have to offer.
Nevertheless, I don't believe in children defying their parents.
I'm not defying my parents as parents, Mr. Goldberg. I'm simply telling them that I won't marry whom they think will make them happy. I won't give up people I like because they're not rich or well-placed. I'm not ready to sell out to the money my mother made or the things that money can buy.
Your defiance may mean that your family will cut you off.
From what?
Can you stand on your own feet if your mother decides
I'm not looking for an easy life, Mr. Goldberg, but the right kind of life that I think is right for me. If I have to stand on my own feet, I will. It's nothing to think about. It's not important.
Very well. But Walter...
Papa, darling,
Where's Mama?
Inside. Shall I call her?
No, I'll go.
What did my father say?
I've convinced him that I ought to be allowed to come and see you.
I've caused so much trouble, haven't I, Walter?
Of course you have.
Walter,
You didn't want me to agree with you, did you? You wanted me to say you hadn't, but you have. It's not the trouble that you've caused that counts. It's the happiness that may come.
But what about Norma, Walter?
Let my mother comfort Norma. It's none of our concern.
She told me she loved you.
I can't help that. I don't love her, and that's the important thing. How could I love Norma when you were here? And...
I never thought that day at the station when I left for Florida, the day that Norma and your mother were coming. I never thought that the day would come when they would have to leave because of me.
You don't have to take responsibility for anything, Rosie. I'll take it. Norma and my mother are leaving because I want them to. Because they realize that they can't tell me who to like or what to do.
And what's going to happen now?
Whatever we want to happen, Rosie. I'll be staying at Dr. Cater's. We'll see each other. We'll be here at Lassenberry together. I can't think of anything nicer.
Neither can I. It'll be wonderful, Walter, with the summer almost here, being with someone you like.
It'll be swell. And while we're taking life easy here, my family will find out that it's possible to live without them supervising every breath I breathe.
Rosalie? Rosalie? Papa wants you.
All right, Mom.
Walter, I have only one thing to say to you. You're very young, and Rosalie is too young. But, of course, that's only my opinion. I'm not you, and I'm not Rosalie. My opinion, Walter, is not, how shall I say it, is not formed by my feelings only, but by my longer experience, believe me, Walter. But at your age and Rosalie's age, you still think experience counts for nothing. All right. Maybe you're right. But all I want is one promise from you. And I think Mr. Goldberg is asking Rosalie for the same promise. I just want to say, give yourselves a chance to know each other. To really know what it is you feel for each other. You must be sure, Walter, that Rosalie isn't an excuse to fight your mother. And Rosalie must be sure that she's in love with you and not with love. And you can come to my house to and fro and as a friend and never feel that just because you told Rosalie you love her, I mean, if you should find out you made a mistake and that Rosalie did likewise, that we would feel or that we would think that you made any final promises. You must both feel free to give yourselves time to know each other. All right?
Yes. Thank you, Mrs. Goldberg.
You're welcome. Rosalie? Come in, Rosalie.
Walter,
Yes, Mr. Goldberg.
may I see you a moment, please?
Yes. Excuse me.
What'd you say to her, Mama, darling? What'd you say to Walter?
Nothing, Rosalie.
You must have said something. What did you say? Tell me, Mama, darling.
I didn't say anything, Rosalie, darling. Nothing important. I said that he's welcome, and we're glad, and he can come to and fro from the house. And so
I'm so happy, Mama, darling. Everything is so perfect now.
It all depends.
It can't help being wonderful. There's no one to quarrel with him, no one to object, no one to fight.
Rosalie, darling, listen to me a moment. Listen to Mama.
Don't warn me against anything, Mama, darling. Don't say anything. All I know is that I'm happy and that Walter is here and that all those who envied us or wanted to make us feel bad are gone.
Except yourself.
Ourselves?
Yes, Rosalie, yourself. Where feelings are concerned, a person's enemy is always himself, and a person's friend is always himself.
When you're in love, your best friend is your feelings.
Rosalie, don't take too much for granted yet, my king. Don't build a bridge before you come to the river, and don't cross the river until you build the bridge. You know what you feel, and I know what you feel. But what Walter feels is still a mystery.
But, Mama, darling, you...
Let Mama talk, Rosalie. Let Mama talk. Walter is here now in this house. He's in Glastonbury. Maybe for a while, maybe for always. But it may not mean the same to him that it means to you. A person sometimes starts to do a thing, and it involves him more and more until he's doing something maybe more than he wanted to do.
But, Mama, darling, Walter gave up Norma. He gave up his family. He gave up all the money and everything. He gave it up for me.
I don't know, darling. He gave it up. Maybe it was for you. And if it was, all right. Wonderful, fine. But until you're sure, darling, until you're positive.
I am positive. I know it. Walter gave up everything for me, just because of me. And that proves that he meant what he said when he said he loved me. I know it, Mama, darling. I know it the way I know I'm alive.
Who is alive?
I am, Papa, darling. Where's Walter?
Talking to Sammy. What are you kissing, Rosie?
I'm so happy, Papa, darling. I'm so happy.
Well, Molly, what do you think?
What I hoped for, it isn't, Jake. Very far from what I want. Or wanted. Very far.
And that distrust which Molly feels is not just a mother's realization that her daughter has grown up. What this disturbance can become, Molly is soon going to see. You know, I can sympathize with you ladies who've been using soaps that only do a halfway job on dishes, because if you use a tough granulated soap, it's short on safety for your hands. And if you use a bar soap, it doesn't have real speed. But here's the dishwashing news you've been waiting for. Now you can say goodbye to those halfway soaps because New Does is here. Yes, this new kind of granulated soap has everything for dishes, from whirlwind speed to extra gentleness for your hands. That's right. This same Does that does everything in your wash goes all the way on dishes, too. Notice how nice and smooth your hands feel after doing dishes with Does. Actually, Does is far kinder to your hands than any other leading granulated laundry soap. Yet no soap made gets dishes cleaned faster than Does. It cuts even frying pan grease without hard scouring. Just try it today. You can tell by the suds how different Does is. Be sure to listen to the next episode of The Goldbergs. This is Clayton Collier wishing you good day for Procter & Gamble, makers of Does, the new kind of granulated soap for all three kinds of wash.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, The Trap by Finn O'Donovan.
Samish, I am in need of some assistance. The situation is potentially dangerous, so come at once. It shows how right you were, Samish, old friend. I never should have trusted a Terran. What a sorry mess, Samish, and the plot seemed so foolproof.
Hey, Thurston, get up. Get up, come on.
Why? What's the matter? Why?
Come on, it's daybreak.
Now, there's good news. Let me alone.
Oh, come on. You don't want to sleep through our vacation. The bird's on the wing.
It's 5 o'clock in the morning.
5 o'clock in the morning in the Adirondacks is the middle of the day.
What's the weather out?
Oh, it's raining.
For crying out loud.
Oh, don't go back to sleep.
It always rains on the first day of vacation. Rule of nature.
Look, I got a little fly rod with a new plastic reel that I'm just dying to try.
Now, what the trouble with you is, Ed, you're in love with sporting goods equipment.
Oh, now, wait till you see this rod.
Now, take that rifle I sold you. You could shoot a rhinoceros with it, but you won't, because, Ed, you're essentially a friendly man.
The trouble with you is you don't like the woods.
Well, how can you say that? Don't I come with you on a hunting trip every year?
Sure, but you always manage to steer us over to Lake Placid to the cocktail lounges.
Ah, now there's real hunting. Now, there are trophies to bring back to the city. None of your paltry brown bears or black bears.
Oh, come on now, Thurston. I came up here to the mountains to hunt.
Have a drink.
Well, it's awfully early in the morning.
Well, look upon it as an extension of last night.
Well, all right. Oh. Think it'll stop raining?
No, who cares?
Well, come on now. Get dressed. It's a perfect day out there in the woods for bear.
It certainly is. That's why I want to stay right here in the cabin. Ed.
What?
Pass the canteen?
It's empty.
Well, open up one of the bottles and pour it in.
Why don't you take it straight from the bottle?
What, on a camping trip? Pour it into the canteen.
Okay.
Hey. Now, this is what I call a hunting trip.
Well, you haven't been outside the cabin. Oh, come on, Thurston. Can't we go out just to hunt something, even if it's just a little rabbit? Look. It stopped raining.
Now, close the door. Now, you let some of the fumes out. Did you fill that canteen yet?
Hey, look at this.
What?
Right by the door.
How many times have I told you not to leave your collapsible cook stove where I can step on it in the night?
It isn't.
What is it?
I don't know. It's made out of metal. It's just sitting here in the doorway. It says, trap on the top.
What?
Trap.
Where'd you buy that?
I didn't.
Well, I certainly didn't.
Hey, there's a tag on it. Dear friend, this is a new and revolutionary design in a trap. To introduce the trap to the general public, we are giving you this model absolutely free. You will find it a unique and valuable device for the capture of small game, provided you follow precisely the directions on the other side. Good luck and good hunting. Well, now, what do you think of that?
Pass me the canteen.
If this isn't the strangest thing, do you suppose it was left during the night?
Oh, who cares?
Well, aren't you interested?
Not particularly. It's just another gadget. I've got 100 like it. That bear trap from Abercrombie and Fitch, the jaguar horn from Battlers, the crocodile lure.
Well, I've never seen a trap like this. It's pretty clever advertising to just leave it here.
Well, they'll bill you for it eventually. You care for the canteen?
Oh, thanks. Hey, look at this thing, Thurston.
Do I have to?
Well, there are instructions on the other side. Quote, Take the trap to a clearing and anchor it to any convenient tree with the attached chain. Here's the chain, all right. Press button 1 on the base. This primes the trap. Wait 5 seconds and press button 2. This activates the trap. Nothing more is required until a capture has been effected. Then press button 3 to deactivate and open the trap and remove the prey. Warning. Keep the trap closed at all times except when removing the prey.
That's goofy.
No opening is required for the prey's ingress, since the trap works on the principle of osmotic suction and inducts the prey directly into the trap.
Well, somebody's been at that canteen before.
No, that's what it says. What won't they think of next? Osmotic suction.
Pass the canteen back.
I'm going to set it.
What, the canteen?
No, the trap. Come on, help me.
Now that's the trouble with you, Ed. You're always cluttering up a hunting trip with hunting.
Come on, take this in.
All right. If it makes you any happier. Hey, boy, it's cold.
Come on, we'll carry it over to that tree.
It's heavy.
Yeah. Here, let's put it down here.
You think we really ought to fool with it?
Of course. Maybe we can catch a fox.
What will we do with a fox?
Turn it loose. The fun is in the catching. Here, take the end of the chain.
Hey, look out. You got your foot in it.
Yeah, I guess it snaps in here. Oh, there it is.
Let's get back to the cabin. The great outdoors depresses me.
Wait a minute. I've got to press button 1.
Hey, it's glowing.
Yeah. 3, 4, 5. Now button 2.
Well,
I guess we just leave it.
Well, come on back to the cabin.
All right. It is time for breakfast.
It certainly is. Pass it to me and don't spill it.
Samish, where are you? You are my oldest friend. I have already been through the beginning of my story. The Terrans accepted my trap as a trap, nothing more, and they began using it at once with no thought as to the consequences. I had counted on this. The fantastic curiosity of the species is well known. During this period, my wife was crawling giddily around the planetoid, redecorating our hutch and enjoying the change from city life. Everything was going well.
Ed.
What?
It's your turn.
Okay, here we go. Ready on the right.
Ready on the left.
The flag is up.
The flag is waving.
Target's up.
You missed.
Oh, Thurston, couldn't we just pull the cork out instead of trying to shoot off the neck?
Oh, certainly not. This is a hunting trip. You can pull a cork off in the city.
I have often corked off in the city.
Ed, why don't you shut your trap?
Trap? Why don't... Thurston, the trap.
What about it?
Maybe we caught something. Come on.
Where are you going?
The trap. There, look. We got something. We've caught something. Come on, look inside.
What is it, huh?
It's a rabbit.
You sure?
Well, look at it.
That is not exactly a rabbit, Ed.
It's the size of a rabbit.
But it's bright green. Ed, no more rum before breakfast.
No, siree.
Starting tomorrow, hand me the canteen.
What do you think it is?
Could be a rabbit.
Green? With lobster claws? And eyes on stalks?
Well, then again, it might not be a rabbit.
I think it's a new species. We'll have to build a cage and then find out what it eats.
As long as it doesn't drink. You don't suppose it drinks, does it?
No, it doesn't look like a drinking type.
No, Ed, I'm not going to share my vacation with a green rabbit with lobster claws. Probably has dirty habits. There's something very unnatural about that trap. It's inhuman.
I'll bet they said that about Ford's electric light and Edison's car and the telephone invented by Alexander's ragtime band.
Are you sure about that?
Oh, sure. I saw the movie. Come on. We'll build a cage, and then we'll set the trap again.
Okay, but we better go back to the cabin.
What for?
Better refill that canteen.
Why haven't you come yet? Samish, don't you appreciate the seriousness of my situation? Think of your old friend. Think of the lustrous-skinned Freegle for whose sake I got into this mess. Communicate with me at least. The Terrans used a trap, which of course was not a trap at all, but a matter transmitter. I had the other end concealed on the planetoid and fed into it 3 small animals which I found in the garden. The Terrans removed them from the transmitter each time. For what purpose I couldn't guess, but a Terran will keep anything. After the 3rd beast passed through and had not been returned, I knew that was all, and that everything was in readiness, so I prepared for the 4th and final sending, the all-important one, for which all else was mere preparation.
Ouch. Well, that finishes the cage.
You know what?
No. What?
Those things smell. All 3 of them.
Oh, I think they're very handsome. Well, here they are. 1, 2, and 3. First, our green rabbit. Next, our bird with 3 sets of scaly wings. And this other thing, what does it look like?
Well, it looks like a snake, except it has a head at each end. They eaten anything yet?
No, I've tried milk, mincemeat, vegetables, caviar, potato chips. They haven't touched a thing.
Maybe they're sick. Hey, what are you keeping them for?
Well, they might come in handy someday.
Oh, yeah? What for?
Thurston, have you ever desired fame?
What?
Fame. The knowledge that your name will go down through the ages.
I am a businessman. I've never considered the possibility.
Never?
What do you have in mind?
These creatures are unique.
And they smell.
We'll present them to a museum. The daily Thurston exhibit of creatures hitherto unknown.
They might name them after us. Our names will go down with Livingston, Audubon, Teddy Roosevelt, Walt Disney.
I was thinking of a wing on the Museum of Natural History that would go right across Central Park West. The Daily Thurston Wing.
Thurston Daily.
That's not alphabetical.
That's true. But, Ed, we only got 3 of them. We can't equip a wing with 3 exhibits.
Well, there must be more where these came from. Let's examine the trap.
Just a minute.
The canteen?
The canteen.
We've got something. There it is. Look, it's about 3 feet tall. A big one.
Uh-huh. A small green head and a forked tail.
Oh, look at him, waving something on top of his head.
Well, the rest were quiet. Maybe this one's dangerous. Huh?
We'll handle it with nuts.
Nuts?
Well, nets.
Oh, nuts. All right.
And then we'll have to get in touch with the museum. Thurston, take a telegram.
All righty.
Museum of Natural History. Dear Sir.
Or Madam.
Have discovered at least 4 animals, which I suspect to be new species. Stop. Have you room for suitable exhibit? Stop. Signed, your friend Ed.
Wasn't that signature pretty informal?
You're right. Make it, your good friend Ed.
We better go back and build a cage for this latest one. It looks awfully exciting.
I think we'll make this one strong. Oh, this last specimen is the cream of our collection. Look at it. Its head is turning pink.
It looks mad, doesn't it?
Well, you'd be mad, too, if you were trapped by osmotic suction.
Say that again.
Osmotic suction.
Here, you take the canteen. I'm way ahead of you.
What, Samish? The rest of the story? Well, it's obvious enough. After 3 animals had passed through the transmitter, I knew I was ready. Now was was the time to tell my wife. Accordingly, I asked her to crawl into the garden with me. Tell me, dear, she said, has something been bothering you of late? Have I displeased you? My dear, I said, you have tried your best, but it just isn't good enough. I'm going to take a new mate. She stood motionless, her cilia swaying in confusion. Then she exclaimed, Freagle! Yes, I told her, the glorious Freagle has consented to share my hutch, and with a clever shove, I pushed her into the matter transmitter. Samish, you should have seen her expression. Her cilia wreathed, and she screamed and was gone. I was free at last, free to mate with the splendid Freagle. Now you can appreciate the full perfection of the scheme. It was necessary to secure the Terran's cooperation, since a matter transmitter must be manipulated at both ends. I had disguised it as a trap, because Terrans will believe anything. And, as a master stroke, I sent them my wife. Let them try to live with her. I never could. Foolproof. Absolutely foolproof. No one could prove a thing. And then, Samish, then it happened.
Did you get the cage finished?
Yeah, our fourth animal is snug as a bug in a...
It doesn't matter.
Boy, it's a mad one, though. I couldn't help feeling it was trying to tell me something.
Come on. Here's a trap.
It's empty.
But it is. It's empty.
You suppose something's wrong with it?
Maybe there's nothing else to capture.
Oh, that's silly. Why would it capture 4 animals and then stop? I've pressed all the buttons in the right way.
Maybe the battery's down.
Osmotic suction doesn't work on batteries.
How do you know?
Did you ever hear of osmotic suction working on batteries?
No.
You see? There you are.
Well, you got something there. Oh, I know.
What?
Let's go to Lake Placid and forget the whole thing.
No, this thing's got to work. It's got to. The Thurston Daily Wing of the American Museum of Natural History is at stake. Would you want that vast edifice across Central Park West to remain empty?
No.
Would you want the Daily Thurston Wing to be rented for a garage?
Or a roller skating rink? Oh, horrors, no.
It's got to work again. I'm going to open the top.
Yeah, look out.
No, let's just see what's inside here. Ah! My hand. It's gone. My hand.
No, it isn't. It's right there on the end of your arm.
Oh, well, when I put it in the trap, my hand disappeared.
You know what would do you a lot of good? A little rest in Lake Placid. I know a fine, restful cocktail lounge.
No, look. I'll try it again with both arms. Ah, look. No hands.
Very clever.
I see how it works. Thurston, those animals didn't come from the Adirondacks at all.
You mean they're imposters?
They came from wherever my hand is.
Where's your hand?
I don't know. Do you realize there's a lot more where they come from? Thurston, the future of the Daily Thurston Wing is assured. Give me a hand up.
And what are you going to do?
I'm climbing into the trap.
Oh, don't do it, Ed. You don't know what's in there.
Here I go. There goes my feet.
Hey, wait a minute. Here's a canteen. Let's have one for the road.
All right. Wish me luck.
I still don't think you should do it.
I do it for science and the Daily Thurston Wing.
Why do you hold your nose?
I got sinus. Here I go.
Samish, if you don't come immediately, it'll be too late. I must stop beaming you. The enormous Terran has completely ransacked my little planetoid. He has shoved everything, living or dead, through the transmitter. My home is in ruins, and now he's tearing down my hutch. Samish, this monster means to capture me as a specimen. There's no time to lose. Samish, what can be keeping you? You, my oldest friend, you... What's that? Samish, what are you saying? You can't mean it. No, not you and Friedel. Reconsider, my old friend. Remember our friendship. Remember...
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features The Deep One by Neil P. Ruzick, a story which tells of a single mistake in the plan for survival, the biggest possible mistake. Galaxy Magazine on your newsstand today. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you The Trap, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by Finn O'Donovan and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in our cast were Donald Buca as the voice, Ralph Bell as Thurston, and William Redfield as Ed. This is Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
The world on a new hotline. Listen for news on the hour in the exciting hotline service all day, every day on most of these stations.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents X-1. Tonight, Field Study by Peter Phillips.
You might put down that newspaper for just a minute, Frank.
Oh, of course, dear. So this is good coffee, honey.
Now, what is it going to be? That's what I want to know. Overtime or that big night out you promised me?
Well, I just can't say for sure, honey. I'll phone you during the day.
Look, you've been working on that Mitchell embezzlement for 3 months, day and night. Now that it's over, I think you'd want to celebrate.
Well, I do, dear, I do. But I don't know just what this new assignment will involve.
Oh, this is it. This is absolutely the end. You can change your job or change your wife, Frank.
Oh, no,
I thought I married a man, not an accounting machine.
I guess I do seem like an accounting machine to Betty sometimes. Maybe she should have married a different kind of guy. Someone who likes to go out dancing and to parties all the time. And who has some kind of romantic career. The quiet life she had with me made her tense and nervous. No, more than that. Neurotic. Actually, the work I did was rather interesting, although she didn't feel that way about it. Being an investigator for the accountancy branch isn't exactly like being one of those detectives as smart as Einstein and as tough as Marciano, but we do get into some unusual situations. And now there was this new assignment the chief had given me.
All I want you to do is see him, Frankie. You can be normally curious, but that's all. If you question him, make it simple. And if he gets cagey, cut it out. You're not going as an agent. You're just an errand boy. Take what he hands out and bring it back. Get on it right away.
Although I got there early, the waiting room was filled with about 40 people. 40 people who seemed to have everything from Parkinson's disease to muscular atrophy. In 40 years, I'd never had anything wrong with me but a postnasal drip, but I was prepared with the symptoms of an obscure ailment. I didn't have an appointment, but I had hardly sat down when the receptionist came over and ushered me into the office.
I'll be with you in just a moment. Please sit down.
Well, thank you. This is good of you, Doctor, but I was perfectly willing to wait my turn.
Well, I'm entitled to use my own discretion. You're an interesting case. And please don't call me doctor. In the healing profession, that title's reserved for those who have taken the Hippocratic Oath. My name is Trancor.
Mm-hmm. You said I'm an interesting case. How do you know about my case? You've never seen me before.
My receptionist has intuitive diagnostic ability. Now, what are your symptoms?
It seems you should be able to tell me.
Well, let's say the recital is part of the treatment. But if you'd rather not bother, just take this capsule in water.
But this is ridiculous. How do I know?
You don't. I make no claims. You can take the capsule or leave it. How many tokens, how much money do you have with you?
Now, listen, Doctor.
No, I'm not a doctor. How much?
Oh, about $50, I suppose.
Well, give me $25 for the capsule, which you take on faith. If you take it. Well?
All right, I'll take it. I'm afraid that's all there is to report, Chief.
That's all right. All we really wanted was the capsule.
Have you gotten the report?
Yes, and it took the laboratory 5 hours to break it down. Just a harmless protein solution. 2 other investigators got the same thing.
What about the genuine patients?
They get a solution of water and a vegetable dye. They're both useless, but when he spots an investigator, he tries to give our lab man a headache.
Well, if he prescribes useless medicines, can't Trancor be booked for fraud?
How? He doesn't make any claims for the blaster thing.
How come he's on our level? Why the accountancy branch?
Could be anybody's case. But every time a direct law enforcement agency has tried to investigate, the man has disappeared. They think we may be more discreet.
What else do we know?
A great deal. Then again, nothing. We have reports from law agencies and medical societies in London, Paris, Berlin, and Prague. Oh, that reminds me. Miss Hance, please ask Sir Greville to come in now. He sets up in business. Word of his cures gets around, he becomes a sensation, and then disappears. Thank you for waiting, Sir Greville. This is Frank Pake, who will be in charge of our investigation.
How do you do?
Frank, this is Sir Greville Gray, chairman of the English Medical Association.
How do you do, sir?
Suppose you tell Pake your own experience with Trancor, Sir Greville.
Well, after conferring with my colleagues in other countries, I managed to have an interview with him when he set up shop in London. He's an impudent little devil, called me the chief witch doctor. When I said we'd prosecute, he flatly denied that he practiced medicine at all.
What about the capsules?
He said he simply offered the capsules because people expected something material. He said it made no difference whether they took them or not. In a word, he disclaims everything, even success.
Perhaps legally he's in the clear.
You mentioned his success. Do you credit him with success?
I think he's a faker and a fraud. But some reputable doctors report that their own patients seem to have been cured of advanced leukemia, peritonitis, and appendicitis. That's why we must investigate these fantastic rumors as a professional and public duty.
Just what do you want me to do, Chief?
Find out all you can. Have them watch. Check with patients and stay with it. He may disappear at any time.
This is a fine time for an assignment like this. My wife is about ready to get a psychiatrist or another husband.
I'm sorry, Frankie, but you're the only one I can trust on a thing like this, and it shouldn't take long.
Okay, Chief. You have a cigarette? Mine seem to be all gone.
No wonder. You smoked half a dozen while we've been talking. Here.
Thanks. I guess I do smoke too much. Probably what causes this post-nasal drip. But... Say, that's funny.
What?
My head is cleared up. My nasal drip is gone. Since I saw Trancor this morning.
Yeah? Oh, it probably cleared up by itself.
But I've had it for years. Well, I hope you're right. Oh, look, sweetheart, I know I practically promised, but I can't make it tonight.
I've been hearing that over and over.
But, darling, this is a special case. It's detective work. The police are helping me.
Oh, so you think you're a real G-man now, huh? A big, tough hero running around with a bottle of rye and a blonde.
Oh, sweetie.
Listen, hero, I hope they shoot first. I'm through.
Oh, it's nothing like that, honey. Now, you're just upset and unreasonable. Well, look, I'll try to be home early. I'll call you.
Don't bother. I won't be here. I heard from an old school friend today, and since you're going to be busy, I may
go out.
Oh, but baby,
I'll
listen.
see you around town. And if you do get home early, don't wait up.
I was alone in the office all evening, thinking about Betty, thinking about Trancor. I remembered Betty's crack about a bottle of rye, so I called the liquor store and had them send up a pint. Every now and then I got a call from a detective saying they were still watching the office. Then there was a call from another detective saying that he had picked up Trancor at the entrance of the office building and trailed him to a hotel just off Broadway. I took down the number and was about to leave when the first detective called again. He said they were still waiting at the office door and that there was still no sign of Trancor. I didn't try to explain. I didn't want to think about it. What could I say? That he flew out the window? I took another drink of rye and went to the hotel. As I got there, a figure came out of the building. I wasn't sure, but I followed him.
Good evening, Mr. Pate. How are your nasal passages?
Fine, thank you. Yes, they're better.
Walk with me, won't you? But first signal your policeman that he needn't follow us.
All right. All right, now tell me something, will you? Am I mad?
No, you're more sane than most. Your higher critical centers are momentarily dulled by fatigue and alcohol, giving full rein to your intuition. An endearing quality when allied with imagination. The saving grace, indeed, of your race.
You're from India, aren't you?
Trancor is a good Indian name. Incidentally, fatigue is a disease.
But don't cure me. I don't want to wake up. Let me close my eyes a minute. Are you still here?
Did you expect me to disappear? I could quite easily, by convincing you of my non-presence, as I did when I walked past those men outside my office. Don't you want to ask me some questions?
Maybe I do, but why do you want to answer them? Well, you figure I'm harmless, huh? Like my wife does.
By no means. I went about to conclude my own particular investigation and say that you were most dangerous to me. Your imagination is quite highly developed.
You know, all of a sudden, I'm not drunk at all anymore. And I need a drink. Come on, let's go in here.
Very well.
A double rye, please.
The same. Just leave the bottle. That's better. I was thirsty.
You drank half the bottle.
I make sure to eliminate the poisons in the alcohol, thus the toxic effects. As a rule, I don't drink, but when in Rome...
Wait a minute. I remember reading a story once. You're from the future.
Your imagination deserves something better than comic strips to work on. It's fascinating, but depressing to see science negated by superstition. Your concept of time is the greatest superstition.
Well, now, let's go back. You did cure my postnasal drip, didn't you?
The infection was cured by your body. I helped. I can't tell you how unless you have 500 years to spare.
Well, I don't. I haven't got 12 hours to spare. If I'm to save my job, my reputation, or my wife. I do need some answers to a pretty lengthy questionnaire. Who, when, what, why, and where.
You're convinced I'm a telepath?
Well, aren't you?
Not in your sense of the term. When you came into my waiting room, I knew you were not there as a patient. Your presence was in disharmony. As for your name and occupation, they naturally blazed so clearly on the surface of your mind that even your native clairvoyance could read the information.
Well, that takes a load off my mind. Are you too big for me to understand?
We'll see. I'm just looking at that girl over there. What a pity. 3/4 of her right lung is gone.
Yeah? Well, you could put her right.
Well, I could stop the infection. But she would return to that back room full of smoke and dust. She'd still travel on a crowded subway to an overheated office. She'd still starve herself to buy clothes to keep in fashion. I don't have a cure for those things.
Well, that's the first time I've heard you admit you have a cure for anything. What are you, Mr. Trancor?
A healer. That is my profession.
Why do you bother to do anything?
Even a healer must eat, you know. And field research is expensive. Of course, I could obviously earn sufficient of your tokens for subsistence by gambling. That would not be ethical.
You could teach.
What? Run afoul of your witch doctors? Besides, these techniques have taken me 500 years to learn.
Well, that's why I thought
that I was from the future. Well, I might be in terms of possibility. We are no older than you are as a race, in terms of universal evolution, but as individuals we are longer lived. The biggest single advance you will make as a race will be when you increase the lifespan of the individual.
You could help us.
We could, but that must be achieved by your own efforts.
Are we so contemptible in your eyes?
Of course not. Would we study you if you were? Our architects, our musicians, even our fiction writers do field work in this territory and write scholarly theses when they return. Anthropology, in our sense of the term, embraces all the arts and sciences. We are scholars. Occasionally, we innovate, and you benefit.
Why do you want to tell me this?
Frankly, I like you. You have imagination enough to control your terrestrial chauvinism, your natural resentment of being studied. It may comfort you to know that in the physical sciences, your race is considered quite well advanced.
Well, thank you. And come to think of it, I do resent being a bug under your microscope. I hate it. I could kill you.
But you won't. Others would. Now you understand why our visits are unannounced. Will be until all men are as essentially civilized, that is to say, non-aggressive, as you are.
How do you come here?
I know what you're wondering. But no, I don't have a spaceship garaged anywhere. You see, we don't travel. We arrive. Afraid the distinction is not clear to you, but it'll have to do. Now, I must go to work. I have only 8 hours. Will you be my guide?
What do you want to see?
The city at play in the pre-dawn hours.
I think my wife would suit you better in the role of a guide. She's playing pretty hard right now.
This situation makes you unhappy?
Well, yes, of course it does. I guess I'm not overly emotional, but I do love Betty. I want her to be happy. With me. Oh, she frets and nags, and she's hard to please, but she's not really like that. She keeps herself busy with trivial things. It's as if she were afraid of important things.
And what are the important things?
Well, I don't know exactly. Helping people some way or other, I guess.
You have any idea where your wife might be?
Well, there are a couple of nightclubs she likes.
Could we go there a little later? No, don't worry. I promise there'll be no unpleasant consequences if we meet. But now, let's get going.
We made the early morning rounds of Manhattan. The bars, nightclubs, penny arcades. We played a pinball machine, and I watched the steel ball hit the prize number 25 times. We quit bowling after his second straight 300 game, and I didn't even bother to pick up a cue in the billiard parlor. Then we went to the Clover Club, where I saw Betty at a table in a low-cut evening gown. She was sitting with a big curly-haired guy who looked like an ex-football player who was wearing shoulder pads under his jacket.
You see her?
Yes, there she is, in that practically non-existent dress. Would you consider me uncivilized if I poked that big dope in the eye?
Let's go over. And remember, you're not altogether without blame in this development. You make insufficient allowance for her. You're reasonably well adjusted. She is not.
Hi, Betty.
Frankie, where did you come from?
Who's your friend?
Excuse me, please. I have to make a phone call.
Frankie, please get me a cab so I can go home.
Go home? All right, dear.
I'll be waiting for you. Hurry as soon as you can. I mean, when you're finished with your work.
It's beautiful here, watching the lights on the river. How do you feel?
My head is clear, but I'm a little drunk from the neck down. It's like a dream.
I wish sometimes I could escape reality so easily, by imparting to it the patina of a dream. You can all do that. I almost envy you.
Look, the dawn is coming up. The stars are fading.
Yes. It's time for me to say goodbye, Mr. Peck.
But can you at least tell me which star?
You haven't seen it or named it yet. Promise to take care of Mr. Trancour for me, won't you? Make sure that he gets safely home. Find his address in this pocket.
Goodbye, Mr. Trancour.
Yes. Goodbye.
That's the way it happened, Chief. The body collapsed in my arms there on the bridge. When it came to, the man was Chandra Trancour, a second-rate doctor who disappeared from Madras 10 months ago.
How do you expect anyone to believe that?
Those doctors and cops can examine the poor devil till they drive him crazy, but he can't tell them anything. He has less idea where he's been these past 10 months than they have.
How do you explain it?
I don't. And I'd like you to hurry through my resignation, Chief.
That's what you want.
I want to be free to take legal action for Trancour if those witch doctors have him arrested on some phony charge. I'll take personal responsibility for seeing him home to India.
You don't have to resign. I'll fix special leave if you insist on being crazy.
Well, that's not all, though, Chief. You see, I'm taking an intensive 2-year course for a new career.
Yes, you told me. I thought you were drunk. What's Betty going to think of a fool idea like that? If her nerves are on edge now, this is enough to drive anyone daffy.
No. She's all for it. She really is. After all, a neurosis is a disease, and she met Trancour.
Well, all right. Let me know how you're getting along. A letter from Peck, Miss Hance. From the Mabello Medical Mission, Upper Congo. It's been 3 years since we heard from Peck. This is probably the most backward tribe mentally and physically in all
Africa. Some trouble with the witch doctors at first, but they're beginning to trust me, with Betty's help. The women here love her, and she finds the tribal customs fascinating. Watch out for my name in the Anthropological Review.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features Operation Stinky by Clifford D. Simak. What is man's best friend? The answer was so vital that every possible resource that could be found had to be poured into this one great project. Galaxy Magazine, on your newsstand today. Tonight, X-1 has brought you Field Study, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by Peter Phillips and adapted for radio by Jack Wilson. Featured in our cast were Terry Keane, Les Damon, Santos Ortega, Alfred Shirley, and Kermit Murdoch. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Can you identify the NBC bandstand jingle jangler? He or she is a famous personality, and you may win $1,000 if you can identify him. To enter the NBC bandstand jingle jangler contest, send a postcard with your name and address and phone number to NBC Bandstand, Box 515, New York, 19, New York. Enter today. NBC takes you across the nation, around the world, with news on the hour and the hotline service all day, every day on most of these stations.
The magic island of the South Seas lies hidden behind its mysterious bank of magnetic fog. The Gregory yacht and the Johnson rescue boat are lashed together, both held captive at Pier 5 on this weird island of Euclidia. On board the yacht, Mrs. Gregory and Captain Bradford are planning everything as exactly as possible. For at 8 o'clock, just after dark, they're going to try to escape from the island in Johnson's boat. Jerry and Joan are starting along the pier to the island, beginning what may prove to be a very dangerous adventure, as they will try to gain control of the radio and power chambers on the island. It is now just 6:30. 1 hour and a half before the plans must be completed.
Now you must remember, Jerry, that we are to speak of nothing out of the ordinary until we are in the sound channel.
Hey, Joan,
why can't we use that sound channel elevator to go down in? You know, the one we came up in last time?
We will do so, Jerry, if we are able to get it to open for us. Remember that we must ask the control chamber for permission to enter.
Well, when those guards hear that we've got the antidote to bring those scientists out of their sleep, they'll be glad enough to let us go down in there.
But, Jerry, we haven't...
Yes, we have. You forgot it, so I brought it all right.
But, Jerry, Captain
Bradford... I know.
said that...
Captain Bradford said for you to carry it, but you walked right out without it, so I stuck it in my pocket.
But, Jerry... Oh, Jerry, you stepped right on my foot.
Well, if you don't quit arguing with me, I might have to step on your neck. Now, listen. I've got the stuff Captain Bradford said would bring those Euclidean scientists back to their senses again. And don't give me any more argument.
Oh, Jerry, I begin to understand.
Oh, don't hurry. Next week will be a swell time to start understanding me.
But I did not mean to be stupid, Jerry. You need not be so angry with me. I was not trying to misunderstand you.
Maybe not, but you did just as good a job of it as if you tried to.
I am sorry, Jerry. And of course we must hurry to the laboratory. G47 will be very angry if we do not wake him and the other scientists as soon as possible.
Now you're coming alive again. Okay, here's the elevator. Recite that hocus-pocus that opens it up.
Cleostra at the main elevator shaft. Cleostra at the main elevator shaft.
Maybe they won't let us go down there till we explain to them that we've got the stuff they want.
That should not be necessary. The guard must have heard us discussing it. Yes, Jerry. The elevator is opening again. The top of the shaft covering is arising from the island.
I guess you're right at that. Is this the same elevator we got stuck in when the submarine lock broke and flooded the 5th level?
Yes, Jerry. This is the same elevator.
We can sure pick the nicest places to play.
I think that will not happen again.
I think it better not.
Now the door will open, Jerry.
Now, don't recite all that to me again, Joan. The last time we were in this thing, you said the door will open again. And it didn't. Let me figure this one out for myself.
Why are you so angry with me, Jerry?
Oh, I'm not angry. I'm in a hurry. Here we go. Oh, the floor sounds the same anyway. Now I'll push this thing for the 5th level.
That is right, Jerry.
Now, and down we go. They can hear us talking in the control chamber, can't they?
Yes, Jerry. All we say can be heard.
Well, I'm glad of that. There goes the 1st level.
Yes. But why do you say you are glad we may be heard in the control chamber?
Because if anything happens to the elevator this time, I'm going to yell until somebody comes and gets us out.
We have passed the 2nd level.
Yeah. I wonder if we'll find all those Euclidean scientists still asleep when we get to the laboratory.
Captain Bradford said he was afraid they would be asleep for hours.
Oh, there's the 3rd level. Yeah. Tex did act kind of worried about how long the gas would keep them asleep.
G47 will be very angry with Captain Bradford when he wakes up and thinks what the captain's formula did to him.
Well, it's his own fault. That's the 4th level. And if G47 hadn't been in such a hurry to get his hands on his formula, well, Tex would have told him to look out for that gas explosion if it didn't work just right.
He will blame the captain in some way, Jerry. I dread to think what will happen when he wakes up.
Well, I guess this is as far as we go.
Yes, the door will open automatically now.
That's what you said the last time.
But look, Jerry, it is really opening now.
Oh, that's good. I could get nervous awful easy in one of these things. Well, let's get going.
Yes, Jerry.
Now, where's that laboratory?
Right this way, Jerry.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess I'm kind of turned around.
Now, right in here, Jerry. Hurry inside.
Boy, you sure thought fast when you steered me in here, Joan. I pretty near forgot and went to the laboratory.
And you thought very swiftly, Jerry, up there on the surface of the island, when you spoke as if we were taking something from Captain Bradford to wake up those men in the chemical chamber.
Well, now that we're both thinking, let's get busy on why we're playing hide and seek down here. Where do you start to clear the way of the radio room?
There is a detailed chart of the island on the work table over there. I will point out the strategic points.
Okay, but let's get in some corner of the room where our voices don't sound like we're hollering down a well.
Come with me. We will find a zone of soundproofing near the chart table.
Well, our feet don't make any more noise. Hey, our voices are all right now.
Yes, Jerry. That was the end of the sound testing zone.
Swell. Now, where's this plan of the island?
Right here. Is it not beautiful?
Hey, I don't see any maps or drawings. What are you talking about?
This, Jerry. This shining cylinder is an exact replica of the island.
That thing?
Yes, of course.
Golly whiskers, Joan. Well, that looks like a big tin can. About the size of a 10-gallon can. with a cogwheel on the top of it.
Exactly, Jerry. And that is what this island looks like. That is a perfect scale model of the island.
Gee, and that cogwheel on the top is the piers.
Yes. Those arms extending from the upper rim are the piers, and those little metal projections shaped like a falling drop of water, those are the control chambers on the surface of the island.
Boy, and all these little outline places in the sides. They show the levels, don't they? Now, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the 5th level, isn't it?
Yes, and you may see the outlines of the submarine locks there. All of the submarines are at this level. They are kept here so they will still be free of the ocean floor when the island is submerged. Then the submarines may enter or leave their locks, and the surface of the island will be under 40 feet of water.
Boy, I'd like to be able to take that thing back home with me. Wouldn't I have something to show the boys and girls?
It weighs nearly 1,000 pounds, Jerry. I think you would have some trouble carrying it.
Yeah, I'd have to use both hands for that. Well, we've had enough fun. Now, where's a picture of the insides of this funny island? We've got to make our plans and move fast. Somebody's coming to investigate us if we don't hurry it up.
You may see the inside of the island with this model, Jerry.
Huh? You mean look through that steel?
No, this is not the transparent steel. This is opaque. But it opens up at the touch of a finger. So.
Well, giggling goldfish.
Jerry, you know very well that a
goldfish
does not giggle.
Oh, I know that. But I'll bet he would if he could see this. Look, Joan, the whole thing is opened up. Each level just slides out to the side as if there were little shells.
Is it not wonderful, Jerry?
Sure is, Joan. It's about the most wonderful thing like that I ever saw. Gee, look. Look, there's a little submarine in the locks.
And there is the chemical laboratory where the chemists are all asleep.
Oh, yeah. And we're near asleep here. Now, get your nose down close to this, Joan, and show me where every important control room on the island is.
The main radio control room, as you know, is there on the surface of the island.
Yeah, can't we do anything to that from here?
Not directly, but I will show you how we may handicap the operation of the beams later.
Never mind later. Do it now.
Very well. Now, down here, in the 10th level, the last one in the island proper, are located all the tremendous turbines and motors and generators that furnish the power and light for all devices on the island.
Then that's the place we've got to hit for, right away.
No, Jerry, we must not do that. That would spoil all our plans.
Well, I don't see how. If we can get to that machinery, we can shut off their power, can't we?
We could not get into the power chambers. Even the men who work there are locked in. Then they are relieved at intervals by an armed guard who lock a new group of men in there. And anyone other than the workmen assigned to that section who even appeared on that level would be punished severely and given no chance to explain.
Gosh, that doesn't sound so good.
But we do not want to go into that section, Jerry.
No? Why don't we?
Because if we could shut off the power down there, we would never get out of the island. Every door and elevator would lock automatically and remain sealed until the repairs were completed. Have you forgotten our experience in the elevator? Were we not locked in there?
Yeah. This begins to look not so easy, Joan.
Oh, do not lose heart, Jerry. Even if we could do all that safely, we would not want to. As we must have the power in the radio chamber when we are ready to send the message to Johnson. And we would be defeating our own purpose if we cut off the power.
Well, then what can we do that's any good?
Look into that little chamber, Jerry. The solid round one directly beneath the radio chamber. Just a few feet under the surface of the island.
Yeah, I see it. What's that?
That is the main electrical dispatch room. All the power and lighting circuits on the island pass through a series of master keys and switches there. And we can nearly control the whole island if we can take over that room.
But can we take it over?
It will require courage, Jerry, and what you call a lot of luck. But I think we may hope to do it.
Well, you know your way around here and up there better than I do. What's the plan?
We must go into the radio control chamber, directly above that one, and overcome the guards. Then repeat the procedure in the room below.
How many guards?
There will be only 2 in the upper chamber, I think, and 1 in the lower.
Well, that doesn't sound too bad. They've got ray guns, I guess.
Yes, powerful ones. Not like these little ones we have, and... Oh, Jerry, I have just thought of something.
Huh? Good or bad?
Wonderful. It is in this room that the protective paint is kept. There, Jerry, in that round vat.
What do you mean, protective paint?
The paint which will protect us against the rays for our hands and face.
You mean with that paint on our hands and faces, they can't hurt us with their ray guns?
Yes, Jerry. We have on Euclidean cloth garments, and with that paint on our hands and faces, the rays will be harmless to us.
Well, then let's get into the paint, quick.
Someone is in the room.
Can they see us?
Not yet. We are hidden here.
Then work fast. Shoot your ray gun off. I'll fall like you shot me. You tell them you caught me here.
But Jerry,
Do as I say. I've got an idea. Shoot that gun so I can fall. Quick.
It is just before dark on the magic island of Euclidia. Captain Bradford and Mrs. Gregory are on the captive yacht, secretly transferring their valuables and navigation instruments to the diesel-motored cruiser which Johnson brought to the island to rescue them with. However, the boat was captured, but not Johnson, who transferred to another boat and is waiting somewhere north of the island for word from the prisoners. Jerry and Joan have gone into the lower levels of the island, trying to find a way to gain control of the Euclidean radio and power rooms. As they examine a scale model of the island in the sound channel, someone enters. Joan fires her ray gun, and Jerry falls as if the ray had put him to sleep. It is 1 minute later.
Was that the door?
Yes, Jerry. The guard is gone. You need not whisper.
Boy, was that a close call. And did you think fast when you told him you'd caught me in here and put me to sleep with a ray gun?
That was the only thing I could think of to tell him. And he knows this ray gun I have is one of the 300-second type, so he expects you to sleep for 5 minutes.
Oh, how long is it since I had to take a tumble when he came in the room?
Exactly 59 seconds from the time I fired the ray gun until you heard the door close. I was looking at my personal chronometer when a guard came in.
Oh, cut out that personal chronometer stuff. That's the wristwatch to you from now on. Personal chronometer.
Very well, Jerry. But we must hurry and do something now. We have not more than 2 minutes. Then the guard will return to take you to the confinement cells as I requested.
Yeah, and you sure fixed it fine for me. Telling that mug I'd stay asleep all right until he could go and get permission about putting me in a cell.
There was nothing else to do, Jerry, and we are fortunate in being in this particular chamber.
What's so good about it?
It is the only room on the island without direct communication to the control rooms. If we had been found in any other room, the guard would have used the speaker to the control room and taken you off at once.
Well, let's get a move on, or he'll have a swell chance to catch us here and tote me off anyway. Where can we go?
We have no choice. We must use the noisy elevator we used to leave this room before.
Okay, come on. We can talk some other place. If we can find a place where they can't hear us. Hey, I don't like my voice changing like that.
It is because we are crossing another sound zone in this room, Jerry.
Well, I know why it is, but I don't have to like it, do I?
Here is the elevator, Jerry. We must hurry.
Yeah. We have to yank this door open, don't we?
You open it yourself, if that is what you mean.
Well, that's it. Here we go. Now where?
I must think a moment, Jerry.
Think fast, then. When that guy comes back and finds we're gone, he'll know this elevator's the only place we could possibly be.
That is right, Jerry. Push the indicator for the 4th level. We will go up and leave the car there. I think I know where we may find a room in which to discuss our plans further.
Here goes. Boy, they sure skipped the soundproof gag on this one.
This noisy elevator may help us a great deal, Jerry. No one can hear us talking in here, and the progress of this elevator is not recorded in the control room.
I don't mind the noise, but what if that guard has come into the room we just left? Won't he hear this thing going up?
He will know we used it even if he does not hear it.
Yeah, and if he heard that, he'll know what floor we stopped it on, too.
Get out quickly, Jerry. I will send the car on up to another level.
Okay. Boy, listen to the quiet.
You cannot listen to quiet, Jerry. Silence is complete absence of sound, and you cannot hear an absence of sound.
Golly whiskers. Here we are in the middle of this crazy island with Euclideans hunting us with ray guns, and you stop to give me a lecture on how still is quiet.
If you are not more quiet, we will soon meet those ray guns.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Joan. Well, where do we go now?
We will hardly be heard here unless someone comes this way searching for us. Now, Jerry, I think this is what we must do.
Go on.
Just around this curve in this channel is one of the tiny cubicles occupied by a guard. We must take that station over.
And the guard's got a ray gun?
Yes, Jerry. And his ray gun is not just one of these harmless, sleep-producing ones we have.
Gee whiz, Joan. How do we do it?
We will have to catch him off his guard for an instant and put him to sleep with one of our ray guns.
Yeah, but even if we get a chance to do that before he uses his gun on us, won't he have that protective paint on his hands and face so the rays won't hurt him any?
Yes, he will undoubtedly have that. But I have noticed the Euclideans many times putting the paint on. They are very careless, Jerry. They hardly ever bother to put it on the backs of their necks or behind their ears. We could easily put the guard to sleep if he would turn his back.
Yeah, and if we only had a few minutes more down in that sound room, we could have covered ourselves with that paint, and by this time that guard will be down there looking for us.
And we must hurry, Jerry. Now we will walk quietly around the first turn in this wall. Then, I have it. You will go and speak to the guard. Tell him who you are. Explain that you are looking for the laboratory to wake the scientists up with a formula Captain Bradford has given you.
Yeah? Then what?
Pretend to be very stupid, Jerry. Even more so than you seem at times.
Hey!
Then you will get the guard to come out of his little niche in the wall and turn to point the way for you. He will naturally point toward the general elevator, as none of the Euclideans ever think of using this noisy one.
Oh, hurry up, Joan. Then what?
Then he will have his back turned this way, and I shall use my 300-second ray on him. In that way I will be sure of hitting the back of his head. And we can only hope he was careless in putting on the protective paint.
Wait a minute. How straight do those guns shoot?
You have seen them work, Jerry.
Well, I mean, how much does the beam scatter? How far do I have to be away from the guy so he won't hit me with a ray?
You may be within inches of him, Jerry. The beam will not be wider than his head, and I will not miss.
Well, if you do, don't stay there 5 minutes for me to wake up. Get yourself out of this and run for the yacht.
I will stay with you, Jerry.
Hey, listen. That elevator we just got out of, it's running again.
So it is. It is going down again. That means the guard in the sound channel has decided we came this way and will come after us.
Listen a minute, Joan. It just passed this floor going down. He'll be in it in a minute and be up here. We'd better hurry and get to this other guard.
No, wait, Jerry. We must not try that now.
Why not?
We wouldn't have time to dispose of the other guard before this one would come along and find us. And if we were seen with ray guns in our hands and the Euclidean guard on the floor in front of us, I'm afraid we might never get back to my mother's boat.
Okay, but what can we do about this fellow coming up in the elevator?
It is nearly 100 feet to the other guard. If we are very quiet, we may possibly be able to capture the one who comes out of the elevator without alarming the lookout.
Okay, we're on our way. What then?
Then we must stand on either side of the door. You over there, Jerry, and I will stand here, so. Now remember to keep as nearly flat against the wall as possible.
Okay, I'm all set. And remember about the back of his head.
The elevator is starting now.
Yeah, and he's only got one floor to come.
When you hear the magnet scratch again, the car will be at this floor.
He's getting nearer now.
Have you your ray gun ready?
Yeah, if I don't get nervous and shoot myself.
Hush, Jerry. Ready.
Oh, boy. He went right on past. I thought for a minute he was coming out on this floor.
He did open the door just a crack, but I think he remembered the guard on this floor, and he knew that we could not have passed him.
Listen. There he goes. He didn't stop on the third level either.
Then we have more time than I had hoped for.
We don't need time. All we need is nerve enough to get after that guard up there.
I am not sure we need even do that, Jerry. I think I see how we may reach the power control room in comparative safety.
But I thought we didn't want to get there first.
We no longer have any choice, Jerry. They will search every inch of the upper levels for us now.
But we can't get off this level without going past that guard.
Yes, we can, Jerry.
How?
This elevator shaft.
But that guard's using the elevator. And it sounded to me like he'd stopped on the second level. So he'll be coming back and using the elevator some more when he finds out we're not on that level.
But we will not be in the elevator, Jerry.
Maybe not by the time he wants it, but he'll see it's been moved, and then we're going sure.
We will use the elevator shaft, but not the elevator.
Huh? Did you ever try using an elevator without an elevator in it? Nothing doing.
You can climb, can you not, Jerry?
Oh, sure I can climb.
Then we will climb down the side of this elevator shaft. There is a narrow steel ladder inside the shaft for emergencies.
Yeah. And when we're about halfway down, that guard takes a notion to make a quick trip to the bottom, and when the car drops, it'll knock us off the ladder like mosquitoes.
But the car will stay just where it is, Jerry. I know how to fix that. And we must go down. We can no longer go up because that guard is sure we are on the higher level.
No, you're right about that. And we'd better do something quick. It's about 7 o'clock, and we've only got until 8 to fix things so the boat can get away.
Very well, then. I will open this door. Now, if you will feel around just inside the door, on the right, you will feel the little ladder set into the wall of the shaft.
Oh, just inside here, huh? Yeah? Yeah, here it is.
You start down it at once, Jerry. I will follow you. And go quietly and fast. Do not use your flashlight. Hurry, Jerry.
Okay, Joan. Wait a minute, Joan. What's going to stop that elevator from being run down on our heads?
I'm going to tear a piece out of my dress and put it in the contact stop. Then the electrical circuit will not close, and the car cannot be operated.
Okay, but hurry up.
Yes, Jerry. Now I think I have a piece large enough. Go on down the ladder, Jerry, so I may step on it and partially close the door after me.
Going down, Joan.
Keep going, Jerry. I'm closing the door softly. So, now I will come down after you.
How far are we from the bottom of this thing?
More than 50 feet.
50 feet from the bottom? On this little steel ladder? In the dark? Aren't you afraid, Joan?
No, Jerry. If you use the ladder carefully and think about nothing except going down, it is no more dangerous at 50 feet than it would be at 5.
You may be right. Hey, we've passed the level already.
Yes, that was the 5th level where the laboratory is.
Joan, can you hear me?
Yes, Jerry.
Did you hear that? The elevator car is coming down on us.
But here's the 6th level. We will go in here and... Jerry! Oh, Jerry.
What's the matter?
I cannot open this door. We cannot get out of here, Jerry.
Kellogg's Pep, the super delicious cereal, presents The Adventures of Superman. Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from another planet, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, defender of law and order, champion of equal rights, valiant, courageous fighter against the forces of hate and prejudice. Today, only a short time remains for him to solve the mystery of the chain of bank robberies. We'll join him in a moment. But right now, a young fellow named Rusty has a problem on his mind, and he's asking his pal Dan McCullough for advice.
Say, Dan, maybe you can tell me what we ought to do.
I'll be glad to help you if I can, Rusty.
Well, it's kind of a problem in our club. Everybody wants to be president at the same time.
You can't run a club that way.
I know. We want to be fair and give all the kids a chance, so we have a different president each month. But how are you going to decide who should go first?
That is a puzzle.
We've been worrying about it.
Hey, I got it.
Yeah?
Sure, it's easy. Now, you're all collecting comic buttons, aren't you, from packages of Kellogg's Pep?
Yeah, sure.
Well, then, the fellow who has the most comic buttons in his collection is the president for the first month.
Why, sure. Why didn't I think of that?
And if you want to, you could take the next biggest collection and make that fellow vice president and so on down.
That's it, Dan, that's it. And believe me, there's going to be a scramble for more comic buttons, too.
Well, you won't have any trouble with that, because all the gang's been mighty busy lately working on their comic button collections. Everybody's working toward getting all 18 different buttons in the series, and having a load of fun, too. Fellows and girls are mighty proud, too, to sport these bright-colored buttons on their jacket or their dress or cap. So don't miss out on the fun. Ask Mom to get you some more of that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal, Kellogg's Pep.
because that's the only way you can get these exciting comic buttons. You can't buy them anywhere, and you don't send in any money, not even a box top. But there's an exclusive prize for you in every package of P.E.P. Pep, made by Kellogg's of Battle Creek. Now, the adventures of Superman.
In a desperate effort to persuade Inspector Henderson not to release evidence which the police chief says proves that Superman is the mysterious burglar who has been breaking into banks, stealing money, and then donating it to charity, Clark Kent made a daring bargain with the inspector. Within 24 hours, he promised, he would either bring in the real thief or produce Superman himself. Kent then outlined his plan to his friend Batman. The bank robberies had followed a circular path within a 50-mile radius of Metropolis, and only the banks in two towns, Lordville and Somerset, had not been broken into by the mysterious burglar. Posting Private Detective Candy Myers and his men in Somerset, Kent, in his true identity of Superman, accompanied Batman and Robin, his young companion, to Lordville. As we continue now, late at night, our three friends are hidden in the dark shadows of the small brick bank building. The little village is wrapped in sleep, and a cloudy sky shrouds the pale moon. Robin, nervous, breaks the tense silence.
This bank robber's going to show up. I wish he'd make it soon, Batman. I'm getting cold.
Relax, Robin. Anybody know what time it is, Superman?
I think I can see the town clock from here. Wait a minute. Yes, it's just 20 minutes past 12.
Yeah, we might have a long wait then. He didn't show up in the last job he tried to pull until after 1.
Most of the other robberies took place around midnight. Keep your eyes peeled. We might see him at any minute.
The sooner the better. I owe him something for the shellacking he gave us last night.
If he does appear, Robin, leave him to me.
No, sir. Nobody can use me for a football and get away with it.
You heard Superman, Robin. He's giving the orders tonight.
Okay,
Hold it. Someone's coming.
Huh? Where?
Up the street.
Yes, I hear footsteps.
So do I.
Who is it, Superman?
Town constable making his rounds.
Oh, that's right. Our bird doesn't walk, he flies. I should have thought of that. He's another Superman.
Quiet. He's right in front of the bank.
What?
Who?
The constable. Trying the door.
Oh.
Quiet. If he spots us, he'll have the whole town up in arms. Okay. He's leaving.
After all those robberies around here, you think they'd keep a guard at the bank all night?
They never do in small towns like this. I guess they figure the constable can handle any trouble that comes up.
If that chance they'd have against a Superman.
That chance the guard would have, too.
Well, that's true, but...
What's that?
Relax, chum, relax. There's the town clock striking the half hour.
Hey, Batman. Wasn't Candy Myers supposed to check with us from Somerset between 12 and 12:30 on the walkie-talkie?
Say, that's right, he was.
Jeepers, you suppose the bank robber showed up here?
I hope not.
He was there last night, and you two scared him away. I don't think he'll try Somerset again. But we'd better check. You got the walkie-talkie on your back, Robin. Contact Candy, will you?
Okay. Calling Candy...
Not so loud.
Oh, sorry. Calling Candy Myers in Somerset. Lordville calling Candy Myers in Somerset. Come in, Candy.
Doesn't he answer?
No.
Try again.
Calling Candy Myers. Calling Candy Myers in Somerset. Come in, please. Come in.
Still no answer, eh?
No.
I don't like this. I'd better hop over to Somerset and see what's wrong. You two stay here.
Wait, hold it.
What?
Robin, I'm ashamed of you.
Huh?
And I always thought you were bright.
What's the matter?
Yeah, what did I do now?
You opened the receiving key on the walkie-talkie instead of the sending key.
What?
No wonder Candy couldn't hear him.
Uh-oh.
Oh, gosh, did I?
You certainly did. Here, let me have it.
Isn't the sending key on the right?
No, Robin, it's on the left.
Oh, gosh, the first walkie-talkie we used a couple of years
No
ago.
alibis. Okay, I've got it.
You must have opened the wrong key last night, too, Robin, when the bank robber showed up in Somerset and you tried to call me. That's why I didn't get your SOS.
Of course. Not for that, would have had our man behind bars by this time.
Where's that extra special dunce cap, and will someone give me a good hard kick?
Forget it. We all make mistakes. See if you can raise Candy, Batman.
Right. Calling Candy Myers in Somerset. Lordville calling Candy Myers. Come in, please.
Still no answer, eh? I'd better get over.
There he is.
I was just going to call you. How is it over there?
All quiet so far, Candy. How is it with you?
All I need is a lily in my hand, and I think I was out of this world. I never saw such a graveyard. Everybody in this burg goes to sleep at 8 o'clock.
Tell him not to fall asleep.
Keep your eyes peeled, Candy, just in case.
Don't worry, pal. I've got every inch of this place covered. If the guy does show up here, he won't know what hit him.
Call us at once if you see him, Candy. That's all. We'll buzz you later. So long. Okay, Robin. Strap it on your back again.
Yeah.
And remember, the sending key is on the left.
How could I forget?
Well, all's quiet on the Western Front.
Yes, it's too quiet to suit me. I counted on our bird showing up tonight. If he doesn't, I guess I'll have to surrender myself to Inspector Henderson tomorrow.
That deal Clark Kent made with Henderson was a big mistake.
Henderson's way off the beam. He ought to know you wouldn't rob banks.
Well, he's got some strong evidence against me, Robin.
Evidence, Pooh. Why should you break into banks?
Wait a minute. Look. Where? Up in the sky. Floating across the face of the moon. See it?
I don't see anything.
Neither do I.
It's right over. No, wait a minute. It's gone now. That's queer.
What is it? What did you see?
The same thing I thought I saw last night before you two got here. Something strangely shaped. I went up to investigate, but then I saw you driving like mad from Somerset, and I came down to find out what was wrong.
I remember you mentioned it. Oh, it's probably a plane.
No, it's not a plane. Oh, wait. There it is again.
Where?
I can't see a thing.
It's behind the clouds. Hard to tell from here, but I'd say it was about 6 or 7 feet long and a foot or so thick. About the size of a big man.
What? Say, maybe it's the bank robber. The other Superman.
Jeepers.
I don't know. It's quite high up and hard to see, but when it comes out from behind the clouds again, I think I'll shoot up there.
How about taking me along?
No, sir. If it is another Superman, I'll want both my arms free. Oh, now. It's coming out. Okay, here I go.
Good luck, Superman.
Yeah, good luck.
Up and away!
Leaping from the dark street, the Man of Steel rockets off into the cloudy heavens, leaving Batman and Robin staring after him anxiously. What has Superman seen? We'll return in a moment for the exciting climax of today's episode. But first, here again is your announcer.
You know, gang, it's pretty swell that you don't have to spend any of your allowance to get those thrilling comic buttons Kellogg's Pep is putting out. Why, you don't even have to send in a box stop. You just open a package of that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal, and there's your exclusive prize. And what a honey. Maybe it'll be the true-to-life picture of Uncle Walt of Gasoline Alley, or Skeezix, or Harold Teen, or maybe even Superman himself, done up in full comic strip colors, too. Bright red and blue and black on a gleaming white background so they really show up. And you feel mighty proud when you wear your collection pinned on your jacket or your dress or cap, and you get a real kick.
What's this? What, those bales? What have they got? Don't tell me.
Full of money, boss. Help yourself.
I mean, the actual, real money in those bales? Not stage money now.
Real money, boss. No ones, of course.
In packages of P.E.P. Pep, made by Kellogg's, the greatest name in cereal. Now, back to the adventures of Superman.
Sighting a strange, swiftly moving object in the cloudy night sky high above the village of Lordville, Superman streaked away to investigate it. He has been gone for some time now. And on the deserted street in front of the village bank, Batman is beginning to worry. It's strange he isn't back yet, Robin.
Give him a chance.
I hope he didn't run into any trouble.
He can take care of himself.
I know, but...
But what?
Suppose it is the other Superman up there.
Our man will wrap him up like a bundle of dirty wash.
Maybe.
What do you mean, maybe? Superman is the strongest guy in the world.
You've forgotten the steel doors that were ripped off their hinges, and the iron bars that were twisted like pretzels. He may be just as strong as Superman, perhaps even stronger.
Yeah, I guess he could be at that. Oh, jeepers, now you've got me worried.
How long has it been since Superman left?
Oh, about 10 or 15 minutes.
Oh, it's longer than that, Robin. We talked to Candy Myers at 12:30. Superman spotted that thing in the sky just a minute or two after we signed off with Candy. What time is it now?
Search me. I left my watch back in the house.
And I broke mine last night. Well, I should say it's about...
1 o'clock.
Good Lord. Wait. Oh, that means he's gone almost half an hour.
Oh, golly, what do you think has happened up there?
I don't have to think, I know.
What?
It's just as I suspected all along. There is another Superman. And right now, Robin, both of them are up there battling.
Wouldn't we see them or hear them?
Oh, they may be miles up. Oh, Robin, I'm afraid this is the payoff.
Don't worry. If it is, our man will win.
I hope you're right. Only I'd feel a lot better. What was that?
I don't know.
ducked back in the shadow of the building.
Maybe it's Superman.
We'll know in a second. He's coming toward the bank. A few more steps and we'll be under that street lamp. Don't move, Robin.
Batman, look. It's Superman.
Hold it, Robin.
But
it's the wrong one. He's wearing a mask.
A bank robber.
Yes. And you know what that means? Our man didn't win. Our Superman lost. Step by step, the tall, broad-shouldered masked figure, wearing the familiar blue costume and red cape with a large S emblazoned on his chest, approaches the bank building where Batman and Robin crouch in the shadows, stunned at the realization that the Superman they have always known and admired has at last met his match. Or has he? What did occur in the cloud-swept sky high above the earth? Was there a titanic battle between two superhuman beings? And did the wrong one emerge the victor? Gang, believe me, tomorrow's episode brings a startling surprise that will have you all sitting on the edge of your chairs. So don't miss it. Be sure to listen and tell your friends to listen. Same time, same station, to tomorrow's amazing episode in The Adventures of Superman.
Fellows and girls, be sure to follow The Adventures of Superman, brought to you every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station, by the grand old Kellogg Company of Battle Creek. And for other thrilling adventures of Superman, see your local newspaper. Superman is also a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC publication. Say, gang, here's some razzle-dazzle news to flash to Mom. Kellogg's Variety is back. So now, everybody at the breakfast table can have the Kellogg cereal he likes best. Because Kellogg's Variety is that grand variety carton holding 10 generous packages of 6 favorite Kellogg cereals. Are they delicious? And does Kellogg's Variety make breakfast fun? Why, it's better than a grab bag because you get what you really want. Today, ask Mom to get Kellogg's Variety, the package that makes breakfast a picnic. And be sure to be with us tomorrow for the thrilling adventures of Superman. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System. Kellogg's Pep, the super delicious cereal, presents
The Adventures of Superman. Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from another planet, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, defender of law and order, champion of equal rights, valiant, courageous fighter against the forces of hate and prejudice. Today, as we join his friends, Batman and Robin, they are unable to understand his failure to return from the clouds. We'll take you to the scene in a moment. But right now, gang, here's Dan McCullough.
Say, fellas, you wouldn't like it, would you, if the girls in your crowd should collect more comic buttons than you did? Well, then, you better hop to it. Be sure to be on hand every time Mom opens a new package of Kellogg's Pep. Because from what I've seen, the girls are getting along mighty fast. Why, I've seen them wearing more comic buttons than you can shake a stick at. Pictures of Lillums and Winnie Winkle and Smilin' Jack and Superman himself. And all the other pictures of your favorite funny paper characters in the series. There are 18 different buttons in all, you know. Each one a natural, true-to-life picture of some comic strip friend. Done up in the brightest colors on a gleaming white enamel button that you'll wear for a long time. And what a load of fun it is swapping duplicates with your pals. But you know, the best part is, these comic buttons are so easy to get. You don't have to send in a single penny, not even a box stop. And you can't buy them anywhere. All you do is to ask Mom to get you some of that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal, Kellogg's Pep. There's an exclusive prize for you in every package of P.E.P. Pep, made by Kellogg's of Battle Creek. Now, The Adventures of Superman.
A mysterious bank robber, apparently possessed of superhuman strength and the ability to fly, is believed by the police to be none other than Superman. The famous Batman, however, is convinced it is another Superman, a counterpart of the Man of Steel. Having reason to suspect that the bank in the village of Lordville would be next visited by the strange burglar, Superman, Batman, and Robin decided to keep an all-night vigil at the bank.
However, shortly after midnight, the man of steel sighted a strange moving object high in the dark, clouded sky, which vaguely resembled the figure of a man, and he streaked aloft to investigate. When a half hour passed and he did not return, Batman and Robin became alarmed, believing the two Supermen had met in mortal combat high above the clouds. Suddenly, they heard a thud as of a large man dropping to earth, and peering out from the shadows alongside the bank, they saw a tall, powerfully built man wearing a blue costume and red cape pass under a streetlight as he approached the bank.
Batman, look. Superman.
Hold it, Robin.
What?
The wrong one. He's wearing a mask.
A bank robber.
Yes, and you know what that means? Our man didn't win. Our Superman lost.
Jeepers.
Get back on the side, Robin.
What?
Get back, I said. Now, crouch down. Maybe he won't see us.
Sure he will. He can see through brick walls.
He may not notice us. Keep low. He's down. He's right in front of the bank.
You think he's going to break in?
I don't have to think. I know.
Then what are we going to do?
There's nothing we can do yet.
But we can't just sit here and let him...
Show ourselves we're finished. This fellow must have just licked Superman.
Golly. Batman.
I hear. Sounds like he's ripping the bank door open.
Aren't we going to do something?
We'll have to wait until he gets inside.
And then go for the police?
What police? There's only a constable in this village, and who knows where he is.
Oh, what a sweet kettle of fish. Wait, I've got the walkie-talkie. I can call Candy Myers in Somerset.
That's 25 miles away.
But Candy can contact the state police.
By the time they get here, it'll be all over with the shouting. Now, there's only one thing to do. Come on.
Where?
I'll give you 3 guesses.
I only need one. We tackle him, huh?
You win the brass ring. Now, get that walkie-talkie off your back. I'd like to look around the corner of the building and see what he is.
Okay. Is he still out there?
No. He's inside. Come on.
Look, Pappy, you knew we were going to tangle with him. Why did we wait until he broke into the bank?
Right out here. We wouldn't have a chance. But inside, where it's dark.
I get it.
Hold it.
Shapers. Look what he did to this door.
Solid steel, 6 inches thick. And he lifted off its hinges like it was cardboard.
We're not making a mistake tangling with him, are we?
I wouldn't be a bit surprised. Ready?
Anytime you are.
Let's go then. Make like a mouse. And watch it. Don't trip over anything.
Check. Thank heaven for these soft shoes.
You can say that again.
Where is he, Batman?
I don't know. It's pretty dark in here.
Like the inside of a motorman's glove.
You'll get used to it in a minute. Hold it.
See him?
No. Thought maybe I could hear him.
I don't hear a thing except my heart thumping. Listen, can a Superman see in the dark?
A lot better than we can.
That's fine. This guy might be standing right in front of us, waiting for us to walk into his arms.
If he is, we'll find out soon enough. Come on.
I think what he did to that steel
Never
door...
mind that. Get your rope ready.
Okay. Oh.
Robin, what happened?
Just bumped into something. The teller's cages, I guess.
Don't move. Chances are he heard that.
I'm a clumsy idiot.
Quiet. Hear that, Robin?
Yeah. Sounds like he's ripping off another door.
Must be the vault.
Where is the vault?
The sound, I'd say straight ahead and below us. Come on.
What do you mean below us?
Well, some banks have the vaults in the basement below the main floor. And there should be a staircase somewhere around here. Yes, I see it.
Where?
See? But that little patch of light comes in from the window.
Uh-huh.
Now, careful now. Our only chance is to take him by surprise.
You mean we've got a chance?
You heard me.
Against the guy who licked Superman?
You heard me again.
I just wanted to make sure.
Quiet. Here's the stairs. Oh. There he is. See that beam of light?
What is it?
His flash. He's in the vault at the foot of the stairs. See? He's got his back to us.
He's counting money, isn't he?
Right. Now listen. It's only 8 steps down. We'll take a step or 2, then jump in.
Maybe we ought to take out life insurance policy.
Don't be so flip. Now listen. I'll tackle him. You get your rope around his legs.
You want me to brand him, too?
Leave that for Inspector Henderson. Ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Now, we've got to hold him somehow, Robin. Quiet now. Down 2 steps. Okay, up and at him. Get your rope around his legs, Robin. Hurry up. Hold him. Okay, hurry up. I hit him a dozen times on the chin. I can't get the rope
around and eat him. Look out, Batman. He's good before you get to the wall. Look out. Batman. Batman. You hurt Batman, you big ape. Get out of my way. Get out of the way, I said. No, you don't. Hey, let go of me. Let go, I said. Batman. Batman.
Oh, Batman. Batman. Wake up, Batman. Wake up. Batman.
Oh, what?
Snap out of it. Come on now.
Oh, my head.
All right, snap out of it, Batman. What happened here?
Superman.
Yes, what happened here?
Where'd you come from?
Never mind that now. What happened here?
Help me up.
Sure thing. Wait. Take it easy. Whoa, now, wait a minute. You're a little wobbly there.
Oh, thanks.
Hold it now. Take it easy.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
better.
threw me up against the vault head first. Knocked me out.
Who did?
The other. Hey, where's Robin?
Robin? I was just going to ask you that.
Who turned the lights on down here?
I did.
Robin! Robin, where are you?
He's not here. Nobody's in the bank. Except you and me.
Great Hubert. Then he got away and he took Robin with him.
We'll return in a moment for the surprising climax of today's episode. But first, here again is your announcer.
Say, gang, did you know that sunshine, bright, cheery, heartwarming sunshine, helps you grow up with strong bones and sturdy teeth? Yes, sir. Old Man Sun makes vitamin D for you, just like the vitamin D that you get in that sunny breakfast cereal, Kellogg's Pep. That's one reason Pep is such an especially good cereal to eat in wintertime, when the sun's not so powerful. Your mom knows that, sure. Why, your regular serving of Kellogg's Pep gives you your daily minimum need of vitamin D, and twice as much vitamin B1 and energy vitamin as whole wheat. And you know for yourself how doggone sunny and swell Pep tastes. And, of course, you also know that's how you get those exciting comic buttons all the gang's collecting. The bright-colored pictures of your favorite comic strip characters, like Moon Mullinson, Orphan Annie, and Superman himself. Each one in the series is a real humdinger. Yes, it's mighty exciting to see which prize is inside every time Mom opens a new package of Pep. And it's even more fun to trade duplicates with your pals. So remind Mom to get you some more Pep tomorrow, because that's the only way you can get these thrilling comic buttons. You don't send in any money, not even a box stop, and you can't buy them anywhere. Just look for your exclusive prize in every package of P.E.P. Pep, made by Kellogg's, the greatest name in cereals. Now, back to the adventures of Superman.
Returning to the little bank in Lordville, Superman found Batman alone in the vault room, just regaining consciousness. But Robin and their huge costumed opponent were gone.
Then he got away. And he took Robin with him.
Who got away?
The other Superman.
There is no other Superman.
There is, I tell you. He broke into the bank tonight after you left. Robin and I tangled with him.
You didn't tangle with a Superman. Come along outside with me and I'll prove it to you. Here. Up these stairs.
I tell you, we saw him. We battled with him.
I know.
He was wearing a blue costume and a red cape. It was another Superman, all right.
Sorry, but you're wrong.
Look, I was dizzy for a moment, but then when I came to, I can tell you, I'm not dizzy now. I know what I'm talking about.
You only think you do. But you're wrong.
I'm not wrong. This fellow dropped out of the sky.
Oh, no, he didn't.
I tell you he did. Robin and I saw him do it last night in Somerset. And we heard him tonight.
Yeah, that may be, but he didn't drop out of the sky. And he didn't fly off either. You'll see what I mean in just a moment. Here, right outside here. There. Take a look at that, Batman.
Good Lord, what is it?
What does it look like?
Oh, it's a basket. Could be the gondola, the dirigible, or a...
Dirigible is right. A miniature dirigible. Look, here's the gas bag. I deflated it before I brought it down.
What? You mean that's what you saw up in the sky?
That's right. The bag and gondola are cleverly camouflaged. That's why I had difficulty spotting it. Take a look at this motor-driven winch and this long rope ladder. That's how our bank robber appeared to leap up into the air and disappear. He caught the rope ladder.
And was hauled up to the dirigible by the winch.
Right.
But where's the pilot?
Well, he must have seen me coming for him because he bailed out before I could reach him. I saw his chute start to open, so I went after the dirigible, figuring to pick the pilot up later. But his parachute failed, and he crashed on a mountainside before I could save him.
So, there isn't another Superman.
No.
Then who was the fellow we mixed with?
Well, I don't know, but right now that's not important. We seem to have forgotten something.
Robin. Oh, Lord, he's got him.
That big bruiser's got him.
Now, take it easy.
Take it easy. Do you know what that kid means to me? He's everything. And now he's gone, and I may never see him alive again. Never. Stunned by the sudden realization that Robin has little or no chance of survival in the hands of the mysterious creature who affects the costume of Superman and can seemingly rip steel doors from their hinges with his bare hands, Batman is grief-stricken. But unknown to him, Robin was not carried away by the false Superman. In fact, at this very moment, the courageous youngster is trailing the massive red-caped giant through the woods in the hope of being led to his hideout. In Monday's episode, gang, every moment is exciting as the greatest manhunt in history is launched. Who is the false Superman? Will Robin find out? No matter what happens, don't miss Monday's thrilling episode. Tune in and follow The Adventures of Superman.
Fellows and girls, be sure to follow The Adventures of Superman. Brought to you every day, Monday through Friday. Same time, same station, by the grand old Kellogg Company of Battle Creek. And for other thrilling adventures of Superman, see your local newspaper. Superman is also a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC publications. Give a hip, hip hooray, gang. It's back. For you and me, now there's Kellogg's famous variety. That's the swell variety carton with 10 separate generous packages of Kellogg's cereals, including Kellogg's Pep, Rice Krispies, shredded wheat, corn flakes, crumbles, and 40% bran flakes. Each box in Kellogg's variety holds a fresh, crisp, heaping portion. Just help yourself to your favorite kind. Makes breakfast a picnic of fun. So ask Mom to get Kellogg's variety right away. And be sure to be with us on Monday for the thrilling adventures of Superman. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Tired of the everyday routine? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all?
We offer you Escape. Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure. Escape, brought to you by your Richfield gasoline dealer and the Richfield Oil Corporation of New York, marketers of Richfield gasolines, motor oils, and other petroleum products. Look for the Richfield Eagle on the cream and blue pumps.
Tonight, we escape to a gigantic rocket ship about to be shocked into space on man's first voyage to Mars. As Ray Bradbury tells it in his famous science fiction story, Mars is heaven.
Project is magnificent, overwhelming, and tremendous. We return you now to the scene of the takeoff in the desert of New Mexico. Go ahead, New Mexico.
Thank you, London. This is Stuart Novins back in New Mexico. I'm standing here on the great steel observation platform overlooking the takeoff stand. As the moment for departure draws nearer, the whole area has been flooded with artificial light. It bathes the spaceship in a kind of silver luminescence, and surrounding it, engulfing it, this subdued hysteria of hundreds of thousands of people come to see the start of this incredible voyage of 18 men in the rocket ship The Venture. It's standing there pointing upward, pointing toward the heavens, and in a few minutes it will bloom out into great flowers of heat and color, shocked into space on man's first voyage to Mars. As you know, ladies and gentlemen, prayers are being said for these 18 men and their ship, the first men, the first ship to dare the voyage to another planet. Prayers are being said by every creed in mosques and churches and synagogues the world over. We take you now to the Basilica of St. Paul's in Rome. This is New Mexico again. We're sorry to cut in, but that roar you're hearing, the roar of the crowd, It's the moment we've been waiting for. I can see the crew of the Venture walking up the catwalk that leads to the spaceship. The men are entering, and now the escape hatch is closed. Now the men are in the ship. This silence, this great, awful silence of the crowd, it's the voiceless prayer that's in every heart. They're about ready now. Some lights from the ship just blinked on and off. It's a signal. In just a few seconds, a few more. Stand by. Stand by. They're gone. The Venture. It's out of sight.
Log entry, U.S. rocket ship Venture. 1 hour out from Earth. Destination Mars. Past Keneally Heaviside layer without incident. Rate of speed, 450,000 miles per hour. With planet Mars at its closest point to Earth, 35 million miles. Calculate duration of voyage to be roughly 3.5 days. Captain John Black, Master. Log entry, U.S. rocket ship The Venture. 12 hours out from Earth. While navigating supertensioned atmospheric forces, port shield generator broke down. Replaced by booster. Yes?
Lieutenant Lustig reporting, sir.
Come in, Pete.
Have a report on the trajectory, sir?
I'll put it on my desk. Pete?
Yes, sir.
How do you feel?
Feel? Huh. Just wonderful, sir. Sitting up there in an observation turret, I don't know just how to say it. The sights, I mean. Moon so close and Earth looking like... And Mars, sir. Sir? Do you really think we'll make it?
Who is it?
Dr. Hingston, Captain. May I come in?
Sure, Sam.
You want to sleep, were you, John?
Oh, no, Sam. Just sitting here thinking.
Well, don't think about it too much. Sleep instead. You need all the sleep you can get.
Who sleeps? Who sleeps and has no way of knowing what's waiting for him? Look at it through the porthole, Sam. Mars. How would you describe it, that glittering blob of red?
That's good enough.
Will it consume us? Spew out dust out into space? Maybe it's the Elysian fields, all charm and sweetness and moonlight shining on the restless dead. Which will it be, Sam?
I don't know. All I know is that they told me I was an expert in space medicine. At Randolph Field on a plot of ground called Texas, they told me that. That's all I know.
What are you doing up? You're supposed to be in the sack.
Well, I'll tell you, Captain. Sometimes a man can't sleep. That happens to me sometimes. So I just wander through the ship, check on the boys, see that they're tucked in properly.
That's what you were doing with me, huh?
No. I just...
What made them do it, Sam? What made them volunteer?
Man keeps looking for something. There are no new frontiers now, only new worlds. And there'll always be men who want to conquer them.
Log entry, U.S. rocket ship Venture. 78 hours out from Earth. Approaching gravitational field of Mars. Atmospheric conditions similar to Earth's. Log entry, U.S. rocket ship Venture. 79 hours out from Earth. Have this moment landed on Mars at 1700 hours. We made it. Chemical analysis indicated on ship's instruments shows air to be breathable and will sustain human life. Gravity comparable with that of Earth's.
Ready, John?
Yes. How the men in sick bay, Sam?
Happy? They're all right, John. You ready?
First one thing. Captain to crew, your attention. We have landed on Mars. No man is to leave this ship under penalty of court-martial. Dr. Hingston and I will make a brief reconnaissance. Crew will proceed with repair of ship's hull. As you know, our ship is armed against any possible aggression. I can't impress it upon you too strongly. No man will leave this ship until Dr. Hingston and I ascertain that we are not in a hostile world.
That is all. Let's go, Sam.
You first, Captain. Your Honor. You, the first man from Earth to walk on Mars.
This grass. It's a well-kept lawn.
John, look over there. A house. A Victorian house. Colored glass and scrolls and everything.
I don't believe it. Come on. Sam, look at these. 2 iron deer on this lawn. We had a pair of these when I was a kid. Sam, did you hear that? That piano from that house. Sam, this isn't Mars. It can't be. It just can't be.
It can't be, John, but it is. Welcome to Mars.
Perhaps you know that skilled research scientists have worked for many years to develop new high-octane components for gasoline. Components to give your car higher anti-knock performance and greater power. But do you know that from this research has come xylene? Xylene, one of the highest octane components in gasoline history. Now, listen. Today, every gallon of the famous Richfield gasoline contains xylene. Xylene in Richfield gasoline helps give your car new, lively pickup, new high anti-knock power, and new gasoline economy. Furthermore, there are 2 great Richfield gasolines with xylene. That means you can select the right Richfield gasoline to give your particular car the finest performance at lowest cost per mile. Richfield high-octane gasoline at regular price is specially refined for the average motor. Richfield Ethyl, ethyl at its best, meets the requirements of the newest motors of the highest compression. And remember, both Richfield gasolines contain xylene. Stop where you see the Richfield Eagle on the cream and blue pumps. Get famous Richfield gasoline with xylene. And now we return you to Escape.
What did I say, Sam? Somewhere back there in space? That Mars was the Elysian fields, all sweetness and charm.
No, John, it isn't that. It's what you see. A world like ours on Earth.
And this?
A small town with good air in it. A small town like the one I was born in. Same smell of flowers, the same sound.
You think that the civilizations of 2 planets can progress at the same rate, develop in the same way?
I do now.
Well, I don't. Oh, look at that house. A Victorian house on Mars? You expect me to believe that? A house with lace-curtained windows, with port swings, with something that sounds like a piano and probably is a piano, playing beautiful Ohio. You believe all that?
I believe it. I admit it's strange, but I believe it.
Strange nuts. It's impossible. We're going back to the ship.
Wait, John. It could be. It could be that there are similar patterns of thought, movement, civilization on every planet in our system. Maybe we're on the threshold of the great psychological and metaphysical discovery of our time. Maybe we...
Well, go on, Sam.
Maybe this proves the existence of God.
Not everyone needs proof.
I don't. But how else can you explain all this? Johnny, it fills me with terror and joy. I don't know whether to laugh or cry.
I admit it looks peaceful and cool. Pretty much like Council Bluffs, where I was born. That was a good, quiet place, Council Bluffs, Iowa. Do you see that, Sam? Do you hear it?
I see it and hear it. It's there. A horse and carriage going down the street.
Just suppose that by accident or something, we landed on a planet in space in another time. Suppose that this is Earth, 30 or 50 years ago. Maybe we got lost in the dimensions. What do you think, Sam?
So much like my hometown. That house. That room up there with the beaded lamp near the window.
when I was a kid, I used to sleep and do my lessons in a room just like that. I'd lie there in the night, and I'd be awake, and I could hear the freight trains across the river, and... John, do you hear that?
I hear. Let's go.
Where?
We're going up to that house and ask questions. Where else? Come on.
Yes, can I help you?
I beg your pardon, but we want...
If you're selling something, I'm much too busy and I haven't time. We're all at supper.
Oh, wait, don't go. What town is this?
What do you mean, what town is this? How could you be in a town and not know what town it was?
Oh, I beg your pardon, but we're strangers here. We're from Earth. And we want to know how this town got here, how you got here.
Are you census taker?
No.
Well, what do you want, then?
How long has this town been here?
It was built in 1868. Is this a game?
Oh, no, not a game. Look, try to understand. We're from Earth.
From where?
From Earth.
Where's that?
The Earth? What?
Out of the ground, do you mean?
No, from the planet Earth. Come out on the porch, please, and I'll show you.
No, I won't come out there. You're evidently quite mad from this town.
Let me try, John. Lady, we came in a flying ship across space among the stars. We came from the third planet from the sun, Earth, to this planet, which is Mars. Now, do you understand?
You're touched from the sun, too. Go away now before I call my husband from his supper. He'll beat you up. That's what he'll do.
But this is Mars, isn't it?
This is Green Lake, Ohio, on the continent of America, surrounded by the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans on a place called the world, or sometimes the Earth. Go away now. Go away.
Let's take a walk, Sam.
Yeah.
Sam?
Yeah?
There's something going on here. Something we don't understand. I want you to go back to the ship. If anything out of the way happens, lift the ship and get out.
But, John...
That's an order, Sam.
All right, if it's an order. John, look. Look at that woman walking toward us.
Oh, what about her?
Well, she looks like...
Sam! Oh, Sam, you look fine, so grown up. Sam, don't you know me? It's your grandma, your old grandma.
Grandmother?
What's wrong, Sam? This is a happy meeting. And who is this friend of yours?
This is Captain John Black. John, this is my grandmother.
Grandmother?
So help me. So help me, John. This is my grandmother. She's dead. Died 30 years ago. But this is my grandmother.
Well, there's no sense standing here on the street. You just come along to my house. With so much to talk about. You too, Captain. And your friend of my grandson's is mine, too. Now, don't stand there with your mouths open. Come on. Here, Sam, have some more iced tea. Would you like some more, too, Captain?
Oh, thank you. I would.
Well, here's to our health.
Well, how long have you been here, Grandmother?
Ever since I died.
What?
Don't look like that. I said ever since I died. 30 years ago.
Sam.
Who are we to question what happens? What's living, anyway? All I know is I'm alive again and no questions asked. Here, Captain, feel. Go ahead, feel my arm. Solid, isn't it? You hear my voice, don't you? You hear it, don't you, Captain?
Yes, I hear it.
Grandmother...
Well, then why go around questioning?
Well, it's just that we... I never thought I'd see you again, Grandmother.
Mrs. Hingston.
Yes, some more iced tea, Captain.
Oh, no. I just want to ask you a question. Mrs. Hingston, is Mars heaven?
Nonsense. No. It's a world, and we get a second chance. It's like another Earth. How do we know there wasn't one before Earth?
That's a good question, John.
Well, maybe we better get back to the ship, Sam. It's been nice, Mrs. Hingston. Thanks for the drink.
You'll be back, of course. For supper, I mean. We're having fried chicken
Wait a
and
minute.
mashed potatoes.
Wait a minute. What's that? Excuse me, Mrs. Hingston. Sam? Come here.
Hey, well, what do you know, John? A parade. For the brass band.
But the crew. My crew marching behind the band with all those people.
But they're heroes. These people are Wilkinson's heroes.
The abandoned ship. They had orders. I'll court-martial every one of them.
John, listen to me. They found old relatives and friends, just like I have.
They have their orders.
What would you have done?
Obeyed orders. I...
What's the matter?
Sam, I don't believe it. It's impossible.
John, they said I would find you here.
Phyllis.
Of course, darling.
Phyllis.
Of course. Who did you think it was?
This is Phyllis, Sam. My 10 years ago. After that, I never got married.
We're waiting for you. Your mother and father.
They're alive?
Waiting for you. At your old house. On Maple Avenue.
You heard that, Sam, didn't you? This is Phyllis talking. And she said Mother and Dad and the house...
You understand it now. The crew. Same thing has happened to them.
Yes. When I open my eyes, it'll all be gone. Phyllis will be gone.
Open them, John.
Phyllis.
Oh, my darling. My darling.
It's good to see you children dancing together again. Your mother would have enjoyed it so much, John.
I must have worn her out with all my questions.
Don't worry about it, son. You get a good rest tonight. Then in the morning, the days after, we have so much time now, son. We'll all be together. You and Phyllis, your mother and I. So much time.
Yes.
Oh, don't go away from me, John. Hold me closer. I've dreamed so long of dancing with you. No more questions. Just accept it. That your mother and father were once dead and are now alive. That I was killed. 10 years ago, I was killed in a horrible accident. And now I'm alive and in your arms. Hold tight, John. Hold me tight.
Well, I think I'll run along to bed now. You children won't forget to turn out the lights. Well, you know what to do. Good night, Phyllis.
Good night, Father Black.
Good night, son.
Good night, Dad.
Shall we go out on the back porch, John? Like we used to long ago. Come with me, John. Here. Let's sit here on the steps. Remember that grape arbor? You built it. Oh, I remember you hit your thumb with a hammer, and I cried. You're very silent, John. Is anything wrong?
Phyllis, I just had a crazy notion. Suppose this were Mars.
But it isn't.
Humor me, Phyllis. Suppose it were Mars, and the Martians saw our ship coming and saw us inside our ship and hated us, and they wanted to destroy us, but in a very clever way.
Yes.
Well, what would be the best weapon a Martian could use against us with our atomic bombs, our hydrogen?
John.
No, let me finish. The hypothesis is interesting. The Martians would use telepathy, hypnosis, memory, imagination.
Oh, John, don't question us anymore. No more.
Well, suppose this town is some other shape, a Martian shape. But by playing on my memory and my desires and my wants, they've made it what I've wanted it to be.
Yes.
I suppose my mother and father weren't that at all. But two Martians, incredibly brilliant, keeping me under this dreaming hypnosis as other Martians have done it to my men. To Sam.
But me. You've had your arms around me.
You kissed me. We shared old secrets. Was that a Martian hypnosis, John?
Phyllis,
Yes, what is it, John? Where are you going?
I've got to talk to Sam. I've got to find out what he thinks now that he's alone with his grandmother.
Stay here with me, John.
Well, I've got to talk to Sam. Maybe he's beginning to wonder, too.
You're not going anywhere, John.
Phyllis!
Phyllis, no! You're not Phyllis! I was right. You're not... You're not...
Friends, comrades, fellow Martians, this is a great day for Mars, a day of great rejoicing. As number 1 of Quadrant 327B of Sector Q, it is my proud privilege to read to you this message from the planetary All-High. It says, congratulations on your splendid work in meeting the barbarian invaders and atomizing them. You have proven the complete efficiency of Plan A, and hereafter, mass hypnosis will become standard operating procedure in repelling any further invasion from outer space, be they submartian, from Earth, or any other creature from any other planet. Well done. I can add little to this unstinted praise from the All-High, but I would like to point out to you that what you have accomplished could not have been done had it not been for our space heroes who have risked so much and often given all in recent years to keep the planet Earth under close surveillance. This surveillance, as you know, has been accomplished by our space patrols, known to Earthmen as flying saucers. They were courageous, these Earth creatures, to brave space in that crude ship, but they were inferior beings, and therefore they had to be atomized. Their extinction was necessary to ensure our way of life. Yet perhaps, since this has been your first encounter with creatures from outer space, you whose glorious victory this has been, may want to say something. Is there anyone who wants to say something? You?
Well, yes. It was a very interesting experience. He said his name was John Black. He was a nice young being. Nice. He thought I was his father, whatever that is. I guess that's all I want to say.
And you?
No, I don't think so. Well, I thought of something, but I forgot.
I see. And you?
One of them asked me if Mars was heaven. What's heaven?
I don't know. Now for the business at hand. The ship they came in. The destruction of it. Disintegrator squad.
Ready.
Proceed.
Compress charge. 16 atmospheres.
Charges compressed.
Low velocity. Trajectory 2.
Low velocity. Trajectory 2.
Release. Charge!
The ship they came in, it's gone.
Motorists, did you ever consider that taking care of a car is something like caring for a baby? It's easier when you've got a system. And in caring for your car, the Richfield gasoline dealer has a system. It's called Richfield All-Point Safety Service. Have the Richfield dealer service your car tomorrow, because hot weather is hard on lubricants. Wear and sudden breakdown can occur before you realize there's anything wrong. With All-Point service, the Richfield dealer will change your oil to fresh, Rich Lube all-weather motor oil and give your car a careful All-Point lubrication job. Chassis, differential, front wheels, and transmission. And that includes service of automatic transmissions with the new Richfield automatic transmission fluid. Richfield All-Point Safety Service also includes inspection and care of all the likely trouble spots, such as battery, spark plugs, tires, and radiator. So save time, save money with this one-stop service. Get warm weather protection for your car now with Richfield All-Point Safety Service. Look for the Richfield Eagle on the cream and blue pumps. Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson. And tonight has presented Mars is Heaven by Ray Bradbury. Adapted for radio by Morton Fine and David Friedkin. Featured in the cast were Jeff Corey as Captain Black, Florence Bates as the grandmother, Bill Johnstone as Dr. Hingston, Walter Catlett as number 1 of Mars, Elizabeth Root as Phyllis, Paul Frees as Peter Lustig, Ian Wolfe as the father, and Stuart Novins, who played himself. Also heard were Ruth Parrott and Ben Wright. Special music arranged and played by Ivan Ditmars. Next week.
You're standing on the floor of the ocean, pronging up a fortune in sponges. But moving closer and closer to you, his huge sponge hook raised to rip open your diving suit, is a man from whom there is no escape.
Next week at this time, the Richfield Oil Corporation of New York invites you to escape with an exciting story about sponge fishers in the Gulf of Mexico, as John and Gwen Bagney tell it in The Big Sponge. Be listening. Goodbye then until the same time next week when once again we offer you Escape. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Tired of the everyday routine? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all?
We offer you Escape. Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure. Escape. Brought to you by your Richfield gasoline dealer and the Richfield Oil Corporation of New York. Marketers of Richfield gasolines, motor oils, and other petroleum products. Look for the Richfield Eagle on the cream and blue pumps.
Tonight, we escape to India in the story of an ex-Army pilot caught up in murderous intrigue. As Joel Murcott tells it in his exciting tale, Serenade for a Cobra.
He's got to keep playing. He's got to keep playing that music, and I've got to listen. If he keeps it up long enough, I'll have a chance, but if he stops, I'm going to die. And he may stop. He may stop any minute because that's what he wants. He wants me to die. My name's Monk Slavin. I'm a flyer. I don't know whatever brought me to Calcutta, but something about the name had the smell of gold. Sounded like the kind of place where a good pilot who didn't ask questions might make a deal. A big deal and a fast one. But nothing seemed to be drifting my way. Nothing but the intense hot wind of the monsoon and the fog from the Ganges and the sea, rolling over the city from all sides and strangling it. There was nothing to do but drink gin and quinine water at the airport bar and pray that you didn't get malaria.
Hello, Slavin.
Oh, hello, Grant. You back again?
Just flew in with a small cargo, a very small one. Mind if I sit down?
Help yourself. You can't get out of Calcutta tonight. Another 5 minutes of that fog, and there'll be a better ceiling in here than there is out there.
You sound like the monsoon's getting on your nerves. What you need is a job.
Doing what? Flying stinking hides down here from Kathmandu? You don't call that a job, do you?
It's the best work I can get at the moment. Now, if I had a chap like you to handle the flights, I'd have time to dig up some new business.
You don't have to dig it up, Grant. It's waiting for you.
Used to ferry a lot of stuff in and out of China.
Yes, but that was before the present situation.
You could still make a buck out of China. A good fat profit any time you wanted.
I don't fly contraband.
Oh, ethics, huh?
If you care to call it that, yes.
That's why you're starving with a lousy one-ship freight line.
I could take offense at that, but I won't. You don't even have a ship, Slavin, and I'll wager you have very little cash.
Well, that's a safe wager. You'd win.
Why not be practical, old boy? I can offer you £100 a month and meals and quarters at the base at Kathmandu.
You know, I don't know how I can resist this chance to become a millionaire, but I'll try.
It's better than nothing. Cushy enough. 420 miles down, 420 back, and no flying over the hump.
No thanks.
Beg pardon, Mr. Grant.
Oh, there's my mechanic.
I have completed your errand, sir.
Oh, that's fine, Jafar. I'll be right with you. If you change your mind, Slavin, you know where to find me.
Yeah, leave a light burning in the window, but don't wait up for me. That's all I got. 2-bit offers from men like Grant. A beggar, just like the reformed beggar that followed him around. His native man, Jafar. A Hindu street faker who learned about planes at an RAF base during the war. Now Grant had him for a grease monkey and a radio operator at the base. You couldn't beat the British. They found a way to hang on. I reached for my half-empty glass, and there's another drink beside it, a full one. A drink I hadn't ordered.
Is it permissible for a lady to buy the drink?
Permissible? It's a big, happy new custom. And thank the lady for me if you ever see her.
The American flyer speaks sharply, like the eagle. But the poor eagle has no wings.
You were going to fix that for me, baby, remember? You had big connections while I'm still sitting here waiting.
My friend can use a flyer, but only if he has a plane.
But just wait here. I'll go out and buy one. How come your hotshot connections can't afford a plane?
It's not the case of affording. Planes are difficult to get. The license, the questions. The authorities are forever asking questions. But my friends, they never ask questions. If you had a plane, for instance, they would not ask who owned it.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
I heard Grant offer you a job. If you worked for him, there would be days when you would be waiting here for cargo. Enough time to make a little extra flight. A flight not on Mr. Grant's schedule. And remember, my friends pay well.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe Grant's going to get himself a pilot after all. So I took Grant's job, and the next morning when the weather cleared, we drove to the field. Through the teeming streets with hot, oppressive, suffocating wind carrying the stench of the salt marshes across the city. Seemed like an eternity before we were off the ground and feeling the cool mercy of being airborne.
Well, old boy, what do you think of her? Well, she handles all right. I just don't like the Havilands. What is it, war surplus? Yes, but completely reconditioned. Pressurized cabin, heating and air conditioning system. I've changed everything for comfort. Yeah, even the radio. Why the open speaker instead of the headphones? Picked up a fungus infection in my ears in Burma during the war. Headphones were painful, so I put in a speaker. I thought the British philosophy about pain was grin and bear it. Only when we can't do anything about it, old boy.
Oh, yeah, I see. What's our ETA?
Hour and a half. How's your landing strip? We call the base Black Cat. Your plane identification is Red Kitten. The field's a bit like a waffle iron, so set her down as gently as you can. I'll treat her like she was my own, Grant. Just like she was my very own.
Well, Kathmandu was no improvement on Calcutta. I could see it from the air as we came in. The ancient wooden buildings and the temples, thousands of them, but outnumbered by the throngs of humanity in the dirty streets. We barely hit the strip before the rain started again, brought in from nowhere by the wind. We were weathered down again at the stinking base outside the town, and that's when Jafar, the mechanic, started with the punji, a kind of a native flute.
I say, Slavin, do sit down. You're wearing me out.
I'm wearing you out. Listen to that thing. Don't he ever stop?
He's just amusing himself. Sit down, man. How about a hand of cards?
How can I concentrate on cards while he's playing that thing? Can't you make him stop?
I can't make him do anything. He's in his own hut, and, well, frankly, he's not bothering me.
Well, he's bothering me.
Why the slicker? Where are you going?
Turn that thing off before it drives me nuts.
Slavin, these Hindus are strange people. They resist pressure. I'd advise you to...
Save it. Grease monkeys handle the same way in India as they do anywhere else.
Slavin, be careful of that...
Jafar, do you hear me? Jafar! Jafar, stop that thing! stopped inside the door, but I did. There was something eerie about the room. Something in Jaffar's burning black eyes that held me. I watched the flute moving slowly as he played. Then I saw it in the dim light. The weaving, puffed head of a cobra. The snake was dancing in front of him. Oh, I'd seen cobras before in the bazaars and in the streets. No matter how many times I saw them, the sight of that deadly, slowly moving, puffed head was enough to turn my blood to ice. I backed slowly out of the room and closed the door. He played it every night after that, every waking hour of the night, until I could hear it even in my sleep. The strange, whining dirge, bringing with it the memory of a weaving head of a snake. In clear weather, I could get away from it for a while, but it would be waiting for me when I got back. And in Jaffar's eyes, there was a challenge. I could feel his hot stare burning into me as we worked on the plane. What's on your mind, Jafar? What do you keep staring at me for?
Why did you change your mind, sir? Why do you now work for Mr. Grant?
What's it to you, Jafar?
Mr. Grant is good to Jafar. Mr. Grant is too quick to trust people.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, you do, sir. You know.
Get out of here, Jafar. Did you hear me? I said get out of here.
I must work on Mr. Grant's plane, sir.
That's an order. Get out!
Hey! What's going on there?
Get out!
Hey! Stop it! Stop it!
Get him out of here before I kill him.
Go, Jafar. Please.
All right. If you say so, Mr. Grant.
Slavin, I don't know what started this, but I do know that I don't want it to happen again.
Then keep him out of my hair. I don't like any of these people, and he rates number one on my list.
You made that plain enough. I'll try to keep him away from you. I only hope he will stay away from you.
What do you mean by that?
You've hurt him in his pride, Slavin. You don't understand these Hindus. He won't come back at you with force, but he will come back.
Oh, will he? Well, he knows who's boss now. I'll be in Calcutta with this load tonight. Tell him to get that flute out of his system while I'm gone. If he plays it when I get back, I'll ram it down his throat.
Aren't you going to buy me a drink?
You don't make me any money, baby, so don't cost me any.
But I am going to make you money. A lot of money.
You better come up with it fast. My job looks temporary.
Is tomorrow fast enough?
Tomorrow I'm bringing another load of hides down from Kathmandu. I'm going back there tonight.
Oh, that will fit in nicely. When you leave Kathmandu tomorrow, you will make a short side trip. One stop in China. Then come back here to Calcutta.
China, huh? Well, now you're beginning to interest me, baby. Where in China?
My friend knows. His name is Karkanov. He will be waiting for you tonight when you return to Kathmandu. Meet him at midnight, at the rear of Great Temple of Vishnu, at edge of town.
How big is the job?
Big, but very little trouble. That is, if you are not squeamish.
When I say how big, I mean how much.
For you? 10,000 American dollars.
10,000? How much of that do you expect?
Oh, Karkanov pays me. The 10,000 is all yours. Now will you buy me a drink?
Yeah. Now I'll buy both of us a drink.
Did you know that gasoline is one of the most mysterious chemical compounds in the world? Gasoline can contain hundreds of different components, but one stands out for its remarkable anti-knock quality. It's xylene. Xylene is one of the highest anti-knock gasoline components ever discovered. And today, xylene is contained in every gallon of Richfield gasoline. Xylene in Richfield gasoline helps give your car that quick surge of knock-free power. And you feel the silent power of xylene when you zip up a long hill. Moreover, your Richfield dealer offers you a choice of two great Richfield gasolines with xylene. Richfield High Octane at regular price for motors of average compression. And Richfield Ethyl for motors of highest compression. Let your Richfield dealer help you decide which Richfield gasoline is best for your car. Stop where you see the Richfield Eagle and the cream and blue pumps. Get the gasoline that contains one of the highest anti-knock components known to science. Get Richfield gasoline with xylene. And now we return you to Escape.
$10,000. Enough to get out of the trap. I can go back to the States on that, buy my own plane, pick up my own spots for a smart deal. I'd thought of it all the way back to Kathmandu. This would be my last night in that role. My last night. Black Cat. Calling Black Cat. This is Red Kitten calling Black Cat, over.
Red Kitten, this is Black Cat. Go ahead.
ETA 15 minutes. Visibility poor. How is it there?
Poor, but all right for landing, sir.
Light landing fields on all corners of the field. Flares, you hear me?
Mr. Bank has already left to do that, sir.
Good.
Would you like some music, sir?
What do you mean, music?
My music, sir.
Why, that dirty little swine? He's trying to needle me, but I wouldn't let him. I couldn't afford it now. Just this one night, I could forget anything thinking about that. I spotted the oil fires at the four corners of the field, burning a clear spot through the ground haze. I turned on my landing lights and set her down like an old lady's rocking chair. I'd never land on this field again. I'd use it for one more takeoff tomorrow, but I'd never land on it again.
Turn off your flashlight, Mr. Slevin.
Carcano, where are you?
On the steps of the temple. No. Don't flash the light. Keep it off, please. You're very prompt, Mr. Slevin.
$10,000 worth.
What time do you expect to take off tomorrow?
I'm scheduled to leave for Calcutta at noon.
Excellent. As you have been told, I want you to go into China.
Oh, that's vague. It's a big country.
Inner Mongolia. It's just south of the city of Suchao.
That's about 1,000 miles in.
1,200. Here is a map.
What's the deal?
On the map is the location of a field. Not a regular air base, but good enough for a landing. You will time your landing for just before sundown. You will take off again almost immediate and return by night.
Back over the hump at night, huh? That makes it interesting.
It will be dull, really, as all well-planned things should be dull, but profitable. A countryman of mine named Leontovich will meet you when you land at Suchao. With him will be an old Chinese. They will return with you.
Too hot for him up there?
The old Chinese is a wealthy merchant. He will bring his wealth out with him. Through connections, we have arranged this escape for him.
But there's something else you'll have to arrange. I don't carry enough fuel to get me to Suchao and back to Calcutta.
You will be refueled. Nothing has been overlooked.
Where do I contact you when I get back?
When you land at Calcutta, taxi to the north end of the field. I will be there with automobile to pick up your passenger and his cargo.
Passenger? You mean passengers, don't you? You said there'd be two. Your man Leontovich and the old Chinese.
Oh, a trifle I forgot to mention. They will both start back with you, of course, but the old Chinese will not complete the trip. You understand?
Yeah, I understand. He disappeared into the darkness, and I started back to the field. The night was full of sound. Even the damp heat had a sound of its own, like nothing else in the world. But there was something else. Jafar. Where are you? Jafar. Jafar! Where are you, Jafar? Where are you? Answer me! I'll find you! I'll get you! I'll get you, you dog! No, the devil. He's riding me. I can't afford to think about him now. I gotta think about tomorrow. Just get back to the field and think about tomorrow. He was on the field in the morning, checking the plane as though nothing had happened. But I could see the glitter in his black eyes like the glitter of a snake's. I wanted to smash his face with my fist, but I couldn't. I had to fly out as though nothing was wrong. The motors caught sweetly, and I lifted off the strip like a feather, and then headed south for Calcutta until I was out of sight of the field. Then I made a half circle to the north and headed for the hump. She took it like a swallow. Past the white peak of Mount Everest, the top of the world, and out over the great plateau of Tibet. Then the northern rim of the Himalayas dipped beneath my wings, and I was over the hill country of Mongolia. I hit it right on the nose, the field outside the town of Suchao, and made my landing just as the bottom edge of the sun was kissing the horizon.
I am Leontovich. The Chinese have a truck with the fuel. Quickly.
Why so many of them? Karkanov said there'd be one Chinese.
They are the old man's friends. They come to see him off safely. That is why we must go to the bother of taking him along, far away.
All right, but watch them.
An armored car will come over the hill as we are ready to take off. Do not be alarmed.
I thought you had everything fixed here.
Quiet. They will not be after us. They will take care of the Chinese we leave behind.
Well, there better not be any slip-ups. Let's get out of here fast. Give me that hose up here. There were 5 of the Chinese, and deep in their impressive eyes was quiet terror. One was an old man clutching a wicker basket, but the terror in his eyes was tempered with a glint of hope. The others just stared at the plane with a terrible yearning. The last of the gas trickled into the tanks. We took the hose down. The truck backed off.
You ready?
Yeah, boost them in.
Come, old one.
They lifted the old man into the plane. Leontovich climbed in after him, closing the hatch. The motors caught, and I nosed her into the wind just as the 4 Chinese on the ground made a dash for the plane. The reason was clear. Coming across the hill at the end of the field, an armored car. Hey, what is it? They're shooting.
Not at us, but hurry.
Don't worry. Here we go.
Our friends on the ground seem to be dead. That was nicely arranged. Now they won't be able to talk.
How about the old man?
In the cabin, he saw nothing. It is almost dark. We can persuade him to leave us at any time now.
Wait. Someplace over Tibet.
As you say.
Karkanov's man hadn't flown before. I could see it in his face. And I was thinking about the wicker basket. That was the cargo I could carry alone, all alone. I didn't have to land at Calcutta. I could go on to Bombay and be out of India on a ship to Africa before morning. The moon was bright over Tibet, and it looked like a ghost land. The old Chinese seemed to be sleeping when I glanced back. His head bent down over the precious basket in his lap. I nodded to Leontovich. He moved slowly, methodically. He slipped an arm under the old man's head, jerked an elbow tight against his throat. I saw the old man's eyes, the terror and the hope mixed with surprise, then realization, then resignation. He slumped and the basket slid to the floor at his feet. I set the ship on the automatic pilot and went back into the cabin.
He is ready to leave us.
I'll open the hatch. You carry him over and dump him out.
Such a shame. But at least we shall keep the basket for remembrance.
He picked the old man up. I opened the hatch. As Leontovich came to the door, he felt the vacuum full of the rushing air sliding past the plane. He tried to draw back, but I caught him with my foot and shoved them both out. No! I was alone in the cabin with the basket. When I opened it, I didn't even mind the stink of the hides. American dollars, British pounds, and jewelry. In a few hours, I'd be sailing from Bombay. A millionaire sailing from Bombay. Something was wrong. I felt it as I started back over the hump. It was bumpy. The ship slithered and kicked, and there was a wall of darkness outside. There was something inside, too. Something or somebody in the cabin of the ship. I turned on the cabin lights and looked back, and there was nothing but a load of hides, but the feeling wouldn't go away. I tried to shake it off. In half an hour, I'd be passing over Kathmandu, just the sound in the night. I had to have a look through the cabin. I set the ship on the automatic pilot and slid from the seat, but she bucked me, and I had to grab the controls. Mount Everest was someplace nearby in the dark. I was sweating. I couldn't leave the controls now. I had to stay with them. I kept looking back into the cabin with that same feeling. Then I saw it. I saw something long and thin slithering across the hides. A loose rope. I tried to tell myself it was a loose rope, but a rope doesn't move like that. And the head lifted. The hooded head of a Cobra. A Cobra in the plane. Plane in the nearest base was Kathmandu, still 20 minutes away, and I couldn't take my hands off the controls. I flicked the radio switch. Black Cat. This is Red Kitten calling Black Cat. Come in, Black Cat. Red Kitten calling. Come in, Black Cat. Over.
Black Cat to Red Kitten. It is a surprise to hear from you, sir. You should be in Calcutta, sir.
You know where I am, you devil, you filthy little devil.
Has my pet awakened? He wants to be fed, sir. The Cobra is very mean when he is not fed.
You put him in the plane.
The sting of the Cobra kills swiftly, Mr. Slavin.
What can I do? Jafar, I'm begging you. What can I do?
Nothing, sir. There's nothing you can do. I could help you,
He's getting closer. Please, he's getting closer, please. Please.
You do not like my music, sir.
Music?
A serenade on the flute might distract him, but you do not care for the flute.
Play it! For heaven's sake, man, play it. He's only 6 feet away from me.
I will play. but will you land at Kathmandu?
Yes, only play it. Play!
The snake came closer. That ugly hooded head, spreading and raising and weaving in time with the music coming over the radio. It was only 2 feet away. Death only 2 feet away, and if Jafar stopped playing, he'd strike. An ugly, ill-tempered, hungry cobra, deadly to anybody but Jafar, who knew when he wanted to be fed. He knew the only thing in the world that could hold him was that flute. That flute, as long as Jafar kept playing it. I was over the hump. I saw the oil fires being lit on the strip at Black Cat. That meant that Grant knew I was coming in. Oh, the flute was driving me mad. And the cobra. I never knew when he'd strike at some movement of my hands on the controls, and yet I had to move him to land. Oh, Grant, where are you?
I'm here, Slavin.
Please, give me landing instructions. Please, Grant.
When you hit the strip, taxi over to the operations shack as close as you can get. Jafar can keep the flute going. We'll open the hatch and try to distract the snake. Maybe we can get you out.
Make him keep playing, Grant. Make him keep playing.
We're coming out to watch your landing. I have the police with me, Slavin. Your friends in Calcutta have already been arrested on Jafar's information.
I made my approach to the strip. The head of the snake never stopped weaving. I could see Grant and the police in the light of the oil fires. I cut the motors, dropped down at the edge of the field. Another minute. If Jafar could just keep playing another minute. I was ready to set her down. The ground was right under the wings. And then the flute stopped.
Happy landing,
Jafar! Jafar, he's missing!
Well, what do you think, officer? Will he live?
Oh, bad crash. Afraid not. Too bad about your plane.
Oh, it's insured. I'll get another.
Oh, you might possibly get the money and the jewels, too, if nobody claims them. I doubt if anybody will.
No matter. I only want what is my own.
Well, Jafar, I'm afraid I shall have to arrest you.
Why, sir? There is no law that says I must play my flute.
No, but you deliberately put the snake in the plane.
The snake lies there dead, sir. Have you examined it? It is not poisonous. The poison sac and the fangs I removed long ago.
Oh, you mean the snake couldn't have hurt him?
He couldn't have been killed by that snake any more than he could have been shot by an unloaded gun.
I did not harm him, sir. My people do not use violence. It is against our belief.
I say, that's a strange one. No matter how long I'm out here, I'll never understand them.
Neither will Slavin, I'm afraid. You'd better cover him. He's dead.
Here's a weather forecast that's guaranteed to be accurate. There is a lot of hot weather coming, and driving in hot weather can spell trouble for your car, cause serious wear, sudden breakdowns. Don't take chances. See the Richfield gasoline dealer tomorrow and ask him to protect all points of your car with Richfield All-Point Safety Service. Richfield All-Point Safety Service is especially designed to guard your car against wear and breakdowns. The Richfield gasoline dealer will change your oil to Rich Lube all-weather motor oil, the Pennsylvania premium-grade oil that cleans as it lubricates. He'll safely lubricate your chassis, differential, wheel bearings, and transmission. And he can care for automatic transmissions, too, with top-rated Richfield automatic transmission fluid. And finally, the Richfield dealer will safety check your car for all likely trouble spots. Get Richfield All-Point Safety Service for your car tomorrow. Stop where you see the Richfield Eagle on the cream and blue pumps. Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson, and tonight has presented Serenade for a Cobra by Joel Murcott. Featured in the cast were Charles McGraw as Slavin, Ramsey Hill as Grant. Jay Novello was Jafar. Also heard were Lucille Meredith, Joseph Kearns, and Paul Frees. Special music arranged and played by Ivan Ditmars. Next week.
You're slowly walking down the deserted street of a small cow town, and coming toward you is one of the bloodiest gunfighters of the West who has sworn to kill you and from whom there is no escape.
Next week at this time, the Richfield Oil Corporation of New York invites you to escape to the range country of the early West and to the story of a boy who grew up to be a gunfighter, as Joel Murcott tells it in his exciting story, Sundown. Goodbye, then, until this same time next week, when once again we offer you Escape. Tom Hanlon speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Wheat checks, rice checks, and good hot Ralston presents Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed adventure, Buzz and Happy are stranded on the Martian desert, 100 miles from the nearest city. They've just come to an expanse of tiny green plants, carpeting the desert for miles.
Something's wrong with my throat, Commander. It feels tight. Hard to breathe.
Mine's the same way, Happy.
It couldn't be the dust coming up from the ground,
No, it comes from the plants. Every time we take a step, the plants shoot out spores, poisoning the atmosphere.
It's getting worse, Commander.
What's still worse, these are poisonous lichens.
Poison? What are we going to do, sir? We can't go back.
Well, if we go on, these plant spores will paralyze our breathing muscles. We'll suffocate.
We'll be back in just a moment with today's Space Patrol story, The Electronic Buglar. Say, you want to have some fun, gang? Well, listen to this jet cycle. There's nothing in the tank but ordinary fuel, and here's the result. Just a putt-putt. That's all it is with ordinary fuel, but pour in some super fuel. Wow, that jet cycle is supercharged now. Yes, sir, gang. When it comes to supercharging, you need super fuel. And the same thing is true of you, especially in the morning when you haven't had a bite to eat for hours. So to really get up ahead of steam, to really get set for a lightning takeoff, you have to get supercharged. And here's Buzz Corey's way of doing it. He eats a good breakfast with rice checks or wheat checks, the super cereals that help to supercharge you. Bite-sized checks. Checks, the cereals that taste so good. Checks, the cereals that are so crisp, so absolutely different. So take a tip from Buzz Corey. Eat a good breakfast with a super cereal and get supercharged. The super cereals, rice checks, wheat checks. Even on the man-made planet Terra itself, few citizens are aware of the existence of the Maris Design and Development Company. Yet from Mercury to Pluto, there's hardly a man, woman, or child whose life isn't made more secure and pleasant because of the engineering know-how in the creation of electronic devices by the Maris Company. And so when Howard Maris reported that his Terra offices had been burglarized, Commander Corey assumed personal charge of the investigation. Right now, Buzz and Happy are standing before the damaged door of the Maris Company vault, questioning the perplexed and worried executive, Howard Maris.
I can't understand why the alarm system didn't work. I set it myself last night, just as I always do.
How do you set it?
There's a lock switch in my private office. Once that switch is set, nobody can force an entrance to the building without setting off the alarm.
But what if somebody had the key to the outside doors?
If they used it before regular opening time, even a key would set off the alarm.
The only sign of force, inside or out, is at the vault door. Mr. Maris, are you positive you set the alarm switch last night?
Absolutely. And the alarm did work, you know.
Yes, but several hours too late. By the time our men got here, the metal on the Endurium door had cooled where the atomo torch had melted it.
It's the most baffling thing I've ever run into, Commander.
Mm-hmm. One fact is pretty clear, Mr. Maris.
Yes, what's that?
Whoever did this job was extremely familiar with your operations.
Are you suggesting it was an inside job?
Yeah, it almost had to be. Just look at what was taken.
Yes, the anoscope plans. The most valuable thing in the vault.
Well, excuse me, sir, but what is this anoscope? It's a device for detecting mineral deposits hundreds of feet underground.
It's 10 times more efficient than any other instrument or method we have.
Those plans in the hands of someone who knows their value are worth at least 1 million space credits.
Wow.
Oh, excuse me.
Yes, Maris here. Oh, very well. Commander, I'm wanted in my office. Would you excuse me, please?
Surely, Mr. Maris. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Well, Commander, if it was an inside job, why did the thief have to use an atomo torch on the vault? He got into the building without setting off the alarm.
The alarm didn't go off until the thief was safely away. If I didn't know Maris so well, I'd suspect him of being involved in the robbery.
Well, how about his chief engineer, Cheller?
Well, they both agreed to a brainograph test. I think they'll pass it. They've worked with Robbie and me on top-secret projects a number of times. Maris and Cheller are exceptionally honest.
Well, the security department men have gone over everything and haven't found a single clue. What's the next step?
The brainograph.
Excuse me, sir, but have a look at this.
What?
On the floor of the vault here, it looks like broken glass.
It is. Somebody dropped his glasses. Gather it up carefully, Happy.
Yes, sir. Well, there's hardly anything left but slivers.
Don't cut yourself, but get all of it.
Maris doesn't wear glasses.
Neither does Cheller. Happy, don't mention this to anyone. We'll have a check made on Maris employees to see who does wear glasses. I hope there are enough large pieces there to tell what the optical formula is.
I've got it, sir. The pieces are in this piece of paper.
All right, Hap. We'll send it over to the lab.
Goodbye, Stokes. And so long, Maris, and thanks. Don't make that any time. Now, Commander, you mentioned a brainograph test whenever you're ready.
Fine, Mr. Maris. By the way, the man who just left, he looks familiar.
Oh, that was Ward Stokes. He's a precision machinist. Does special assignments for me from time to time.
Oh, sure. I remember him now. About a year ago, Major Robertson had him work on a special viewscope for the security lab.
Oh, that's so? I had him in mind for the anoscope job.
Did you discuss it with him?
Oh, no. No, I wouldn't do that until I'd checked with security. That's our standard policy on really important jobs. Stokes just dropped in, pick up an instrument case he left in my office.
I see.
Your man, Captain Scoville, talked to him.
Captain Scoville and his men will remain on duty here for a day or two, Mr. Maris, checking the alarm system.
Yes, Commander, I understand.
They won't interfere with your regular operations any more than they have to. Now, if you'll get Cheller, Happy and I will take you to headquarters for the brainograph test.
Oh, Stokes, you got the case all right.
Yes, walked right into Maris' office. One of Corey's men gave me the once-over, but didn't even stop me.
Has the case been tampered with?
Oh, it was on the floor exactly where I left it yesterday. After all, it looks just like what it's supposed to be, an instrument case.
Yes. Not even Boss Corey would suspect this small box of being an electronic burglar.
And now that we've got it back here, no one will ever suspect. Oh, I see you found your spare glasses.
Yeah. You know, I worn glasses for 30 years, and I never broke a pair till last night.
And you never cracked a safe till last night either. Oh, did you?
Well, if I did, I wouldn't have been so awkward when I removed the protective goggles.
No. Well, it was a small price to pay for what we've got.
Yes. That reminds me, you better put that robot burglar away and help me copy the anoscope design.
Where do you want me to put the burglar?
In the staging room for now.
All right. This stage set's a great piece of work, even if I do say so myself. Startling duplicate of Maris' private office.
Well, it would have to be, wouldn't it? Otherwise, we couldn't have trained our mechanical helper to find the alarm switch in the real office.
You know, I've made dozens of machines operated by electric eyes, but until you came along, it never occurred to me to,
Yes, to make a machine that works for you instead of somebody else.
Yes, Bartram, I guess that's it. The toughest part of the whole job was getting a hold of Maris' burglar alarm key long enough to make a duplicate.
Maris doesn't suspect us. Corey doesn't suspect us. I'd say we pulled it off without a hitch. But now, we better get ready to blast off from Mars.
Happy, I suppose you heard the results of the brainograph test.
Yes, sir. Maris and Cheller didn't have anything to do with the robbery.
Not only that, but they haven't the remotest idea who might have done it.
That's great. Except that it doesn't help us much. Oh, how about the fragments of glasses?
Well, the lab couldn't tell a thing. The boys did their best, but the pieces aren't big enough to indicate the optical formula.
Oh, well. Maybe it wasn't a thief that dropped it there anyway.
Maybe not. Maris says that he and Cheller are the only ones that go into the vault. We would get this clue just when our chief optical expert is in the hospital.
Dr. Pricer?
Yes. I contacted Pricer and showed him the fragments on the telescreen. He thinks he could determine the lens formula after he's out of the hospital.
When will that be?
In 10 days. You know, I think I'll take his suggestion. Pricer says this man Stokes might be able to help us.
Stokes? Oh, the fellow Maris was talking about?
Yes. Stokes helped Pricer on some high-precision optical work a while back.
Pricer thinks he's great.
He could well be, with both Maris and Pricer raving about him.
Now, let's pay him a visit, Happy, and see if he can put our glass jigsaw puzzle together. Mr. Stokes, I imagine you're a pretty busy man, but at the moment, you're the only one who can help us.
I'm rather rushed, Commander, but if it's for the Space Patrol, I'll be glad to if I can.
I have some fragments of what apparently was once a pair of glasses. Can you determine the optical formula from these small pieces?
Why, it would be rather difficult. May I ask why you want this information?
By tracing the prescription, we might be able to check with various opticians and find a thief.
A thief?
Yes. Confidentially, I'll tell you that these fragments were found in Maris's vault after the burglary. You know about that, of course.
Yes, it's perfectly outrageous. And this is the only clue you have?
So far.
Oh. Well, I'm afraid I couldn't give you a very accurate analysis, Commander.
I see. Well, perhaps Dr. Pricer can do it when he gets out of the hospital.
However, let me examine these fragments more closely. Will you let me take them into my lab in the next room?
Of course.
It won't take me long to find out if further tests will be worthwhile.
He didn't seem very interested at first, Commander.
It's a challenge to his ingenuity. He'll probably help us.
All these pictures of gadgets on the walls. Are these Stokes' inventions?
I suppose so.
Hey, come and look at this one, sir. The picture here by the door.
All right.
It's a miniature viewscope, no bigger than your hand.
An amazing piece of construction.
I'd like to see the actual thing. Hey, I wonder what's in this room here.
Happy.
Oh, well, I wasn't snooping, sir. I just thought... Hey, look at this.
What is it?
For a minute, I thought I'd been here before. But this is an exact duplicate of Maris's private office.
It does look like it. Same furniture arrangement, same size, same fixtures.
Yeah, maybe the same person designed the offices, and Maris's is just like Stokes.
No, I don't think so, Happy.
What do you mean, sir?
These walls don't reach the ceiling. This is a room built inside a larger room, like a stage set.
You're right. It seems kind of silly.
It certainly does. And then...
Hey, what's that, Commander?
Machinery of some kind, but I don't see... Oh, it's that instrument case. The lid's opening.
Look at it, Commander. Now the whole case is moving, rolling across the floor.
I wonder what could have started that thing up.
Now look, it's running a long rod up in the air.
Yeah, very ingenious. A telescoping rod in sections with a key on the end of it.
Sure like to have one of those things. Hey, looks like it's on its way to unlock something.
To unlock a mystery. Watch it closely, Happy.
I'm going to tell him, Boucher. Well, tell him you can probably figure out the optical prescription. Then, in a day or two, give him a fake formula. Good.
Then Corey will never be able to trace you.
Go tell him and get him out of here.
Yes. Commander, I've got good news for you. Commander, where are you?
In here, Stokes.
Oh.
Happy and I are watching this fantastic gadget of yours.
How does that thing get started? Here, I'll shut it off.
No, wait. Let's see what it does.
It's just a silly toy. I'll turn it off.
Later, Stokes.
But Commander.
Hey, it acts like it's looking for something. Now it's heading right for that little doogie on the wall there.
A lock switch.
It's feeling for the keyhole.
A very clever machine, Stokes. So that's how the alarm system was shut off.
What do you mean?
You can't deny this room is an exact replica of Maris's office.
Suppose it is. Lots of offices are alike.
I see. Then, of course, you won't mind taking a brainograph test.
That'll be enough snooping, Corey. Get your hands off. You too, cadet. Get their weapons, Stokes.
Yes, Boucher.
Keep behind them in case I have to use this ray gun.
So you're Stokes' partner in the burglary. Boucher, huh?
Hold them, Stokes. Confound it, men. You should have locked the door.
How did I know they'd be coming here?
And that robot. How did it get started?
The timing mechanism. I forgot to shut it off.
So just 12 hours after the robbery, it started up again.
Yeah. In another 3 hours, the robot would turn the lock switch back on, move back to its original position, withdraw its wheels and levers, and become an innocent instrument case again.
Too bad Stokes has such a good reputation as a precision machinist, or we'd never have come here.
It is too bad, Corey. But I'm afraid it's too bad for you.
What are we going to do with them?
We can't dispose of them here on Terra. We'll take them to my lab on the Martian desert, where they'll never be found.
We'll be back with Space Patrol in just a moment. Say, gang, listen to this boy going to the breakfast table. He doesn't care if he ever gets there, does he? He doesn't like his breakfast cereal, that's why. No zip, no lift, no flavor. Now, here's a girl. Listen to how she goes to breakfast. She doesn't even bother about going. Same trouble. A cereal dull as can be. No taste, no tang, no nothing. Now, here's another youngster going to breakfast. No wonder he's in a hurry. He's really going for breakfast because this fella does what Buzz Corey does. He has a checkerboard super cereal for breakfast every single morning. Rice Chex or Wheat Chex. The cereals with that modern bite-sized design for easy eating. And boy, it's not just the size that makes Chex easy to eat. It's that flavor. Man, oh man, Chex have a flavor that keeps that spoon of yours going up and down, up and down, up and down until the cereal bowl's empty. So get the cereals that have you sprinting to the table for them. The super cereals that help to supercharge you. Rice Chex, Wheat Chex. Bart and Happy have been captured by two criminals who stole designs for a valuable new mineral detection device from the Marist Design and Development Company vault. The thieves, Stoke and Boucher, have locked the space patrolman in a compartment on a spaceship and are heading for a hideout on the Martian desert.
Certainly aren't taking any chances, sir. My wrists are tied so tight, my fingers are numb.
If we can work loose before the ship lands, we might be able to fight our way out of this mess, Happy. Keep at it.
Yes, sir.
Now, they cut the rockets. Feel that increased gravity pull?
Yes, sir.
If they're carrying out their original plans, it means we're landing on Mars. We've got to work fast before they can land.
Unload the compartment, Stokes. I'll keep them covered.
All right. Now, you two on your feet.
Let's check these ropes. Turn around. I said turn around. When I say something, I mean it, Corey.
I'll remember that, Boucher.
With the little time you got left, I suggest you dwell on more pleasant memories. Okay. The ropes are still tight. Get moving, you two. This is our little Martian hideout. Sure is a filthy little hideout. Well, maybe we'll let you clean it up before we do away with you.
Well, let's get some heat on. I'm freezing.
Stokes, you're going right back to the ship and blast off for Lowell City.
You still think I should make contact with Bob?
Yes. I'll stay here and guard Corey and the cadet until everything is set. Leave the designs here.
I'll put them in the cupboard.
All right. If you find everything safe in Lowell City, then make arrangements for getting the money from Tharp, and we'll hand over the designs.
When do we get rid of Corey and the cadet?
Just as soon as you get back. Nobody will ever find them out here in the desert. You better get going.
Oh, I wanted to ask you a couple of things. Come out to the ship with me.
Well, all right. I don't imagine you'll want to leave, Corey. But we'll lock the door, just in case. Well, sir, we've got until Stokes gets back to get out of here.
Even if we overpower Boucher, we'll need Stokes' ship to escape. Do you see a space phone in here?
No, sir. But maybe there's one hidden around someplace.
Happy, there's a heating control. Kick the switch with your foot.
You cold, sir?
No, but put it on full, quickly.
Yes, sir. There it is, sir.
Good. Now, if this room will just heat up in a hurry.
Well, there goes Stokes.
Now, when Boucher comes into this heated room, I have a hunch he'll have some trouble with his glasses.
Huh?
Coming in from the cold air, they'll fog up just like the windows.
Hey, yeah, then we can rush him.
The best we can hope to do is knock him down with a headlong dive until we can get our hands free. Here he comes. Get ready.
Yes, sir. All right, gentlemen. Now we'll just relax. Oh, you got the heat on. I told you space patrolmen were hardy souls accustomed to cold. Confound it. My glasses are...
Okay, Happy?
Get off of me.
He dropped his gun, Commander. Kick it out of the way. That's it.
Can you handle Boucher with your hands tied, sir?
I won't have to. They're loose, Happy. All right, Boucher.
Let go of me.
And stop struggling. On your feet. I'll take the gun, Happy. Boucher, untie the cadet.
Wait till I get my breath. You knocked all the wind out of me. It's all right, sir. The ropes are working loose.
Good. Boucher, is there a spacephone in this building?
No, there was a portable set on the ship, but I forgot to bring it in.
We'll just have to wait till Stokes returns. You'll get a nice surprise when he walks in that door.
Should we tie Boucher up, sir?
That might be a good idea. We won't have to watch him so closely. Boucher, get away from that cupboard.
I'll get him, Commander. They're not there. They're gone.
What are you talking about?
The anoscope design. Stoke never put them in a cupboard.
I saw him walk over there.
He double-crossed me. The dirty rat.
What good would they do you if they were there?
Don't you see? Stoke isn't coming back, and we're stuck here.
He's right, Happy. This puts all of us in a tough spot. Boucher, how far did you say it was to the nearest city?
100 miles. 100 miles of desert.
We don't have any way to call for help.
We'll die out here. We only got food for 2 days.
Maybe. But we're not going to stay here. Let's take what food and water we can and start across the desert.
On foot? We could never make it.
We're going to try it. Now, where's the food locker? Come on, Boucher. You're lagging behind.
Don't make me walk anymore, please.
You've got yourself into this mess. We're going to keep moving.
All right. I'll try to make it.
That's it. Now stop blubbering and save your breath.
Hey, these green plants are all around us.
They're lichens, Happy. In the Martian summer, they turn rust-colored.
Stop. Wait.
Now what?
I feel sick. Something's wrong with my throat.
Well, I don't feel so good myself, but we've got to keep moving.
Hold on a minute. There's something strange in the air.
It's dust coming up from the ground, sir. Every time we step, a little puff of dust spurts up.
It's from the lichens, Happy. They're spores.
Spores?
Yes, tiny cells from these plants. This kind is poison.
What?
It's getting into our throats, lungs.
Let's get out of them, quick.
But we've got to keep on going.
The plants stretch for miles in all directions except behind us.
Then let's go back.
We can't go back. Commander, these spores, what do they do?
If we keep inhaling them, they'll paralyze our breathing muscles. We'll suffocate.
I'm going back.
Boucher, come back here. Grab him, Happy.
Boucher, keep your head. All this stomping around's making it worse.
Stand still, Boucher. Be quiet. Look around, examine the terrain. Maybe we can find a bare stretch of ground.
It's hopeless. We're trapped. Trapped on the desert.
I said be quiet. See anything, Happy?
No, sir. Except that low hill there. Seems to be a tower of some kind.
Yes, a power relay tower. There's one every 20 miles.
Maybe there's a spaceophone at the tower. If we can get there, we could call for help.
That's worth a try. Come on, let's go.
Come on, Boucher. Just a few yards more.
I can hardly breathe.
I don't see anything that looks like a spaceophone, Happy.
Neither do I, sir. Just some wheels and gears.
Those are to adjust the receiving and deflecting coils at the top of the tower.
You mean we can't call for help after coming all this way?
I'm afraid not.
Then what good is this monstrosity? We'll all die here under the
Look,
tower.
Boucher, lie down and rest a minute and keep quiet.
Sir, by looking at the coils, can't we tell the direction to take to Lowell City?
Yes, but it's straight across those poison lichens. Now, wait a minute. If we were to turn those wheels, it would interrupt the power beam. The beam would miss the next relay tower.
Hey, yeah. They'd have to send somebody out to investigate.
Well, then do it. Turn the wheels. Cut off the power.
Boucher, do you realize that human lives may depend on that power beam?
Well, what about our lives? Our lives depend on it, too. Turn it off.
What we might do, Happy,
Turn it off.
might deflect it slightly, just enough to register on the instruments at the monitor station.
Well, how could we be sure we weren't turning it too far?
See that dial? It points to 0. That means it's right on the beam. The red lines on either side are the danger limits. Here, let's release the holding mechanism. Now we'll turn the wheel carefully.
The indicator's still on 0, sir.
The control mechanism has a high gear ratio for accurate focusing of the beam.
Now it's moving, sir. Halfway to the danger line.
That ought to alert the maintenance crew. Now we'll spin the wheel the other way, back and forth.
Want me to take over again, sir? You must be tired.
All right, Happy. Thanks.
You've been doing that for half an hour and nothing happened. Turn the beam off. Clear off. That's the only way to make them pay attention. It'll be dark in a little while. Nobody will be able to see us.
Commander, look. It's an atmosphere ship.
And it's headed right for the tower.
Well, wait for them. Make sure he sees us.
He'll see us, don't worry. It's a power commission ship, all right, sir. See the big red circle on the hull?
All right, Happy. It's coming in for a landing. Set the indicator back to 0.
There it is, sir. I'll lock it in place. Control secured, sir.
All right, let's get to the ship. We've got an appointment with Stokes in Lowell City.
I told you and the commander how you can pick up Stokes and the man who's going to buy the design. They will go on my record one day.
Oh, sure, but I'm afraid it's a little late now to start thinking about getting off easily.
Happy, I just talked to Lowell City Space Control and the pilot's space reform. They're putting a guard around Stokes' ship in case he tries to blast off.
Fine. When do we get to Lowell City?
In a couple of minutes. We'll turn Boucher over to the spaceport guards and go after Stokes and Stiles.
Well, Stokes, the designs seem to be complete. They're all there, Mr. Tharp. And now I'd like my money. Of course. I'm glad you and Boucher changed your minds and made a straightforward business deal.
The original plan was just a precaution in case we were being followed. But everything worked out so well.
All right, Stokes. I'll take those plans.
Of course.
Get Tharp happy, I'll handle Stokes. Yes, sir. Where do you think you're going? All right, Stokes. Had enough?
Oh, yes, Corey. Let up.
I've got Tharp, Commander.
Keep them covered. I'll get the anoscope design.
Yes, sir. All right, Stokes. Move over next to your partner.
Just tell me one thing. How did you get out of the desert?
Well, Commander, why don't we let Boucher explain that to him? It'll give them something to talk about for the next several years they're going to be spending together.
We'll be back with an action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol story in just a moment. Say, you want to hear something funny? Well, listen to this. That's a word scrambler, gang. A machine that scrambles secret messages sent by space patrollers over the spaceophone. Now, do you want to know what the message said? Well, here, I'll have it unscrambled for you. To get supercharged, eat a good breakfast with Instant Ralston. That's one of the most important messages a space patroller ever sent. Yes, sir, when you sit down to a good breakfast with good hot Ralston, well, boy, oh, boy, that's your day to shine. For Instant Ralston packs a wallop in every spoonful. It's rich whole wheat. Remember, rich whole wheat. That means it'll warm up your motor, tune up your thinker, help start off your day with a bang. Yes, that's the kind of start Buzz Corey gets. That's the kind of start you need to be a winner just like him. So come on, Space Patrollers, get supercharged. Eat a good breakfast with good hot Ralston. And now for a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol story. Buzz and Happy are on Venus on a farm where food is chemically grown in large tanks. As they walk toward a building where Tonga is held captive, huge sun mirrors atop several tall towers turn ominously toward them.
Oh, the rockets, Commander, is really getting hot all of a sudden.
Yes, waves of heat. Even for Venus, this is unusual.
Oh, my eyes. What a glare.
Happy, don't look at those reflectors. They'll blind you.
Let's run for the building and get out of the sun.
Hap, look out. They're focusing those sun mirrors on us.
A whole battery of them are pointed right toward us.
Maybe we can dodge them. Run back this way.
Commander, they've got us surrounded by those heat beams, and they're closing in.
They hit us with all those at once. We're finished for good.
Be sure to be with us next Saturday for the exciting story, The Space Shark, when wheat checks, rice checks, and good hot Ralston again bring you Space Patrol! And now here's a message from Commander Buzz Corey.
Here's a little riddle. What is it that is scarce, valuable, and necessary, yet given away free? The answer is blood, the gift of life. Yes, when grown-ups give blood at the Red Cross Center, they don't receive money, but they do receive the wonderful, deep-felt satisfaction of knowing they helped save a life. Now, how would you like to help me get more people to save lives? Join my Space Patrol Blood Boosters. It's lots of fun, so how about it? Join today.
Space Patrol, an original Mike Moser production, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston and directed by Larry Robertson. Other players were Bela Kovac, Ken Mayer, and Norman Jolly. Dick Tufel speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when Wheat Checks, Rice Checks, and Good Hot Ralston again present the new, exciting Space Patrol! And be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol story on your local ABC television station. Consult your local paper for time and channel. Space Patrol comes to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.